Now on BBC Television, a choice of viewing. On BBC Two, a discussion on censorship between Derek Hart, the Bishop of Woolwich, and a nude man. And on BBC One, me telling you this.
Always pick the best time to drop the worst lines. You almost made me cry again this time. Another false alarm, red flashing lights. Well, this time I'm not going to watch myself die. I think I made it a game to play your game and let myself cry. Myself alive on the inside, so I can shut you out and let you go away for a long time. God, I guess it's okay if you took the day away. I guess it's better you trapped yourself in your own way. And if you want me back, you're gonna have to chain broke away, and I felt it the day that I had my own time and took advantage of myself and felt fine. But it was worth the night. I caught an early flight and I made it home. I guess it's okay if you took the day away. I guess it's better you trapped yourself your own way. Yet if you want me back, you're gonna have to ask nicer than that. Nicer than that. With my foot on your neck, I finally have you. Right where I want you, right where I want you, right where I want you. I guess it's okay if you took the day away. I guess it's better you trapped yourself in your own way.
All right. Greetings, citations, all my beloved airborne Simeons, and what up to any visiting sports fans? Fuck the Mahomes Football League. Let me send the invite out to the team. There's a tremendous amount of, man, I have just a Pennsylvania shit ton. Let me check the audio real quick.
Yeah, if you want me back, you're gonna have to ask nicer than that. Nicer than that.
Wait, my audio.
Yeah, if you want me back, you're gonna have to ask.
All right. Greetings. All right. Decent enough. Wouldn't be the first time there's some fuckery with the audio. Don't mind the delay. All right, there we go. Looks like Odysee is once again incorporating these disgusting, obnoxious, shit CIA spam advertisements. Let me go ahead and throw this out on social networking. Tables must all right. I usually do it when related to the related to my opening bumper music. I'll change it. Related to the opening bumper music for the 3 people allowed to see. All right. Randy, please stop licking my fingers so I can actually use them. Dude, stop. He's such a sweetheart, but he's driving me crazy. Oh, hi, Bill. I'm talking about Randy, not you.
Who's Randy?
This is Randy.
Oh, that
Pain
Randy.
in the ass on my lap, licking my fingers.
There's our brother Darnell. Hey, Darnell.
All right. So, sorry for the delay. Had to go to Baston.
Baston. How was the beans?
I didn't have no beans. I had some lobster, though. It's fucking expensive, but it was good.
You had lobster? Oh. Shellfish.
You know, it used to be the kind of like trash food, and they changed it over and made it the luxury food. That's the true history of lobster.
And that's strange coming from an animal that eats garbage off the bottom of the sea.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it used to be the poor man's food.
Yeah.
That's all shellfish. That's all shellfish, which, by the way, is not kosher. Shrimp are bottom feeders. I would say that a little harder to fake that. Food tastes like food. If food tastes good, then you'll want it. Okay. Randy, for the love of Pete, please. You can't be mad at him for being a nudge, but anyway.
How's the doggies doing?
Trying to kill me. Trying to kill me. Constant attention. I got one that continues to have some sort of nervous condition causing him to piss in the house. And he gave me a meltdown this morning. Didn't help.
Yeah.
All my
Well,
issues.
some of them, even the younger ones, when they get excited, they pee.
Well, it's something different. It's a neurosis that, of course, if I could figure it out, it'd be taken care of. But
Right.
anyway, all right, guys, I have an absolute Pennsylvania shit ton and a Virginia 50,000.
All right. Well, let's get on it.
Yeah, we'll do what we can, and we'll leave it at that.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Let us.
I didn't
all
take my usual restroom break before getting on, so I might have to jump off at some point if the water moves.
and depending upon how it goes, I may have to turn the wheel over to Bill. We still may do. Rather than almost a 3-hour, 4-hour late start. So I don't know how long we're going to be able to go, but
Yeah, I got to jump at 5. I got a hard stop.
all right, pal. It is what it is. I'll have to. Let's start with this. I got tabs open. So much work going on. So I'm redoing my. How's my audio, by the way?
Sounds okay.
Ema Charlie.
Okay. Redoing my Jesuit theater, Hollywood Jesuit theater dossier because of that IMDb Catholic actors thing I sent you. I'll put it in the chat. This is absolutely not exhaustive. As a matter of fact, I'm taking advantage of this because it's heavy on the early silent black and white eras.
Right.
For level
Yeah,
madness here.
D.W. Griffith was sure a piece of work.
There's a ton of names. There's a ton of names.
Ton of names. By the way, I watched Fury last night. You know, I'm not much for a war movie, but it was kind of good, but very Catholic, very Jesuitical.
Yeah. As a quick summary, I've been saying the more realistic the movie, the better it will be. And it is, if you have meticulous attention to historical detail, you can't go wrong. And yet, it's exactly what Fury has, just that. Meticulous attention to detail. Meticulous to the point where they hired the only operational Tiger tank in the world to be in that one scene where they have the face-off with the Tiger.
Right. And not only that, they brought in, like, I think 4 or 5 World War II veterans who were in, you know, who drove those tanks. And the actors had to go to boot camp to learn how to operate one of those tanks. And by the time they got through boot camp, they were able to they did all that stuff themselves. They didn't have stunt drivers or anything. And one more quick thing, the movie kind of reminiscent of the Alamo.
Right, sure.
The standoff at the end reminded me so much of the Alamo.
And really, that's the bottom line, though. That's the bottom line. It took a foundation of meticulous authenticity, attention to detail to put you there, which is the key to real moving an audience. To really move an audience is to put you there in the movie. And they squandered it with what? War propaganda. The opening scene.
Mm-hmm.
This was so pretty. And I've mentioned this before, and as I am able, I'm really, really behind. Bill, I haven't moved an iota in my review of Legacy of Pedophiles, Monarch Legacy of Sex Traffickers. But
there's a lot there to do. There's a lot to it and stuff.
I might even play it for you. Now you force me to do this.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't know what drugs they were on when they made the Suicide Squad. It was got to be the most drug-induced.
Awful.
I had to see it. I'm sorry. You piqued my interest. I had to watch it. I don't know if you got Vlad the Impaler, all the chapters. I made the mistake of giving you the VOBs, which.
Yeah, pal, I wanted to check with you because it said it's a big file and yet there's 8 little things. So I wanted to make sure what the hell.
I made the mistake of giving you the VOB. I should have did the DVD rip version, which is all one file and it's only 3 or 4 gigs. This must have been 8 or 9 gigs.
All right, I'm gonna play this for you.
Go ahead.
I am so backed up.
I'm trying to push you.
Why address what I'm backed up on? Let me just go ahead and jump into the very first rabbit trail. Stand by.
Gordo.
Oh, right. John Bernthal again. John Bernthal again, playing a redneck.
I was heading to 5th Corps HQ. They pulled me off the truck.
I love this coming up. Let me tell you something. Shia LaBeouf, the Jesuit scum, took him. They pointed him towards Christ with roles like these, and they yanked him into their.
They sent me here. There's got to be a mistake.
Mistake. Army don't make mistake. Do what it do.
You from Missouri? No,
You from Chicago? Nah, you from Arkansas, ain't you?
no, I'm from
Hey,
Pittsburgh.
hush up, man. Nobody gives a fuck where you from.
Are you a praying man?
I go to church.
Whose denomination are you? Episcopalian? Yeah, you are. You're a mainliner, ain't you?
Yeah, I am.
Are you saved?
I'm baptized.
Yeah, that ain't what I asked
That's
you.
what he asked you. See?
Go to what I asked him.
So you gotta listen.
Are you saved? Wait until you see.
See what?
What a man can do to another man.
Just perfect delivery.
Oh,
Perfect delivery.
It was, and it was interesting at the end too, when Brad Pitt's character started citing scripture, and that just came out of the blue. I went, "Whoa, wait a minute! I thought this guy was a sadistic, you know, the way they tried to get him to kill the German officer."
Here's the problem, though, pal. Here's the problem. That is what should have been the central theme through the entire movie, and it wasn't.
And it wasn't. You're absolutely
It
right.
wasn't. Several times in the movie, their rally cry is "best job I ever had" or something to that effect.
Yeah, killing people.
Best job I ever had.
Yeah.
They had it. They had it with just brilliant delivery by LaBouffe. Wait till you see. Are you saved? Are you saved? Wait till you see what one man can do to another.
Yeah.
And blew it. Just with that meticulous attention to detail, historical accuracy, and what could have been at the bare minimum a powerful anti-war movie. I don't expect anyone anywhere outside of this team to be able to deliver the message that World War II was completely unnecessary. No one's going to deliver that message but us. But at the bare minimum, you can show the horrors of war. And it didn't even do that. So that's going to be my review.
Although there was a lot of carnage and a lot of violence but I don't know the truth, the accuracy of it, because it showed that the German people, if you didn't go into if you didn't join Hitler's army, you were hung by the street. By the poles and stuff. I don't know if that's historically accurate or not, because the way those people were treated, if you weren't for Hitler and this war, you get hung and you get assigned.
Well, there's probably something to that. There's probably something to that where the SS guys were executing any German that didn't. It seems I don't have any. Excuse me. I cannot say yay or nay on it, but it seems intuitive. Anyway.
But yeah, because at first I was, I didn't feel the justification until they found out who was responsible for hanging all those people. And they said, cut that guy, shoot that guy.
Yeah.
Almost, to me, it was almost justifiable because of what he did to
I'm trying to get out of this fucking rabbit trail, dude. I'm trying to get out of the tank and off this rabbit trail.
Okay. That's good.
I would address that too. I will address that if I ever get to reviewing Fury.
All right.
Where you have this essential lawlessness in war that I've never experienced, but I just have to say, okay, I would assume this is.
I tell you what,
let's possible.
Let's table this thing and maybe do it another time together, because I think I had some really good thoughts on it, and it's my fault for watching it last night and
that's
taking
fine.
mental.
No, well, I will. When we get to it, I will review it, and then you and I can review the review. All right. Anyway,
okay.
First tab. Clarence Gilliard. You know who Clarence Gilliard is?
Wasn't he the black guy that was on Walker, Texas Ranger? Yeah.
Well done.
And he
Well
was
done.
also in the Left Behind. I think it was the very first Left
Really?
Behind.
Probably vaxxed too. Within that vax time frame.
But he did declare that he was born again.
66.
I don't
Oh my goodness.
declare he's born again, and yet Vatipedia says he is ex-Lutheran converso.
Oh.
Dead at 66.
Just November of 22. November 22. And not only that, nobody knows what he died of. Suffering from a long illness. No further details. Suffering from a long illness and no further details.
Exacerbated by shots, but we won't say that.
Who's to say that there's any legitimacy in the long illness bullshit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it probably was, but once you
No,
do
there's no
something that
probably.
stirs you
There's
up-
no probably. That we have no idea. When we're being told anything, we don't know for sure of anything. I'll go with
forgot
what
that he was in Die Hard.
I'm not even
Right,
going to
but
say
I mean-
probably, Darnell. I'm not even going to say probably. I'm going to say it's possible that you're not being bullshitted. It's possible that they're not lying to you. But yes, fine. I'll give it.
I can agree with that. That you don't want to, you want to be certain. I'm just saying that there are people who had a history of cancer, and then they take the shot, and then they die of an aggressive
Right.
cancer, and well, they died
Sure.
of cancer.
Excluding, of course, Toby Keith. Toby Keith is just stomach cancer, had nothing to do with being fully vaxxed.
And remove all the posts while you're at it.
Right. So yeah, listen, I'll give that. I'll give that. I will allow your moderate take on this of, okay, maybe there was some kind of long, quote, long illness that we have no idea what it is, that was exacerbated to the point of death by Clarence being fully vaxxed. So there's like 3 footnotes on him being Catholic. Oh, okay. He was a consultant to the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. So I'm going to say no to the born again.
He was Christian. He was Christian.
All right, you want to make me play that?
Oh, here we go.
Hold on. Pain in the ass. You're not going to hear it. I have to play it for the audience. Hold on.
Just play it for the audience.
All right.
We don't.
Hold on. I'll let you know it's over.
You're Christian.
No! No, Christian.
No, Christian. All right.
No Christian.
Yeah. So
That's right. He was also in Top Gun. Interesting.
Anyway, of
But
all
the point, but the point is there's a lot of Jezebel on him, although he professed to be Christian.
I would say what he's best known for is Walker, Texas Ranger. And yet this shit rag, the National of the Las Vegas Review Journal, says Die Hard. Die Hard, he was in one Die Hard movie.
Yeah, and he probably had a small role. Very small.
So anything to avoid conservatard like Chuck Norris. Fucking far left. Look, dude, I'm so tired of the far left dominating everything. Anyway, all right, next. Gordon, good to see you. Johnny G loves that clip. All right. Now this is, do I go in reverse order? Or do I go to oldest to newest or newest to oldest? If I go in chronological order, I will skip around a little bit.
Why don't you just go with what is digging at you the most?
Sounds good.
We've covered this. And, okay, a lot is digging at me. But well done. That's a good guide. Here, this has been sitting for a little while. Like we just said about Shia LaBeouf.
Sorry about the glare, guys. Put my hat on.
It's all good. Thanks for representing. I'm representing today too. Go to
I got my flying monkey shirt.
get your flying monkey suit. Go to johnnysolution.com.
That too.
Go to
You
support
should see
tab.
the flying monkey suit I have. Okay, go ahead.
PayPal, Vatican, Venmo. Send Johnny some love. Help him to pay his bills. That is it. Everything is free. 100% free. All these vids, all the articles, the books you can steal online. Thank you, brother. The hard copy books, which nobody reads hard copy books anymore. The only thing I charge for. All right. This is just, I don't even know if I archive this. Wow. Just devastating.
Yeah, I could see from the way he acted in that movie, Fury, that it pushed him into going Catholicism.
Well, what did him in was the
yeah,
right?
because of the
Padre Pio.
passion, the way he portrayed, like you said, when you showed that scene, it was spot on.
Look, the sad thing is these people are, for the most part, easily manipulated.
Yeah.
That's truth.
Mm-hmm.
People
I was
are easily
watching,
manipulated.
Yeah, I've never seen this, so yeah.
I was watching a recent Little Light Studio video about a lady talking about her time in the industry. And she was just talking about how they get further pulled in. They get further reeled in over time.
Yeah.
And the deeper you go, the further they push you forward.
Yeah, so
And
much.
she was Jesuit educated.
Right. So much for the Jews running Hollywood.
Thank
There's
you.
more there's more people turning to Catholicism than anything else. So
Yeah, I don't even have that archive, so I'm going to have to save that. Let's see here.
yeah. That is interesting.
It's tragic is what it is. It's tragic.
Yes.
All right.
Michael Mouse.
Yeah, so we covered this before. The Jeffrey Epstein. Darnell did a great job on this, exposing this big leak of Epstein what? Epstein Black Book or Epstein List?
Yeah, I think, let me see on that. But Nick Bryant was the guy who brought out the original Black Book. And he's basically saying that all this new stuff coming out is basically a bunch of crap about there being a client list and stuff like that. That's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
And the Black Book that he got it after the FBI had it. So, I think Nick Bryant, great job, but look who had it before he had it.
Yeah.
So is it really the whole Black Book? Maybe not.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you notice there are probably no names from the CIA in there or FBI.
Right.
So
We don't know what got redacted before he got a copy of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't want any of our people implicated in this.
Right. It's like, give them these guys.
Yeah. I mean, we don't care about the Bill Clinton and Robert Kennedy and all that stuff because they're known. You know, that's blown cover. Let's
Yeah.
cover up what we don't want them to see.
Right.
Yeah, and Nick Bryan, he does a podcast where he's still exposing some stuff. So he's out there. He's exposing some things and stuff, but he doesn't do like we do. He doesn't bring it home the way we do as far as the real players behind this thing. And he talks about the stuff that I guess gets the headlines, but he doesn't go deep like we do as far as.
Well, the thing of it is they dance as close as the fire as they can without, losing that monetary. Because I noticed that. I noticed that. I know what Johnny is saying about YouTube is they'll dance so close just enough to get, you'll see them on Facebook and stuff. You go to their YouTube channel and they got all these subscribers. They've got all this, but they get right up to the edge and then they pull back.
Yeah, I mean, I respect what he's doing because nobody else is exposing or talking to people he's talking to, but he's not going to go deep on Rome like we will.
No,
not going to go deep on Rome. He'll mention the Jesuits or he'll mention these things, but he's not going to go deep on them.
Right. He won't expose the head of the Hydra that needs to
exactly. He's not going to go for the head.
Yeah, he's not going to go for the head. And
but I do recommend everybody checking his stuff out. He's been putting some good stuff out there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just archiving this Shia LaBeouf story. And of course, Microsoft is making this as hard as possible. Sorry for the
but I asked Nick directly on an interview where I had an opportunity to get a question in about that client list. And as soon as they asked my question, it was like, oh, that's bullcrap. There was no client list. And there's not going to be one. It's just getting people hyped up over nothing.
Well, that's the thing. That's what the headlines, the stories don't match the headline. They make a big deal, new lists come out or this, that, the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you read it and it's stuff we already know.
Exactly. and as he said, they're only going to tell you about people of a certain age.
Uh-huh.
Maybe 16-year-old at the least as far as they're going to go. But usually they're talking about adults.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to talk about the kids or anything of that nature that Epstein was running and the others are running. They do not report on the abuse of children.
And heaven forbid if they mention the orange phallus. I mean, he just stayed clear. Somebody told me one time that he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago.
That's the knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, everybody goes, "Oh,
That's
he kicked him out. He didn't want nothing to do with Epstein." Right. Come on, don't give me that.
Yeah, they don't. Nobody wants to talk about all the tens of millions Trump has paid in cover and lawsuits and payouts.
Yeah, it's hard to reach these Trump tards. No matter how much you show them names, places, and dates, they still say, "Well, it's the same argument with it's the same argument in the bus." It was all locker room talk. It was all locker room talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I talked all this crap, but it was just okay. It's okay because Trump, right?
Yeah. But if it was the other guy, the bad guy, Biden, he's a
All right. I'll put it in the Odysee chat too. But it's a good list of the 30 million he's paid out.
Right. That's why they won't expose his tax returns, from what I understand. That
good for you. That's a big part of it. Let me pull a George. John Wesley prayed the rosary and loved French Catholic mystics. The founder of Methodism.
Oh, okay.
John Wesley loved
Wesley.
French Catholic mystics.
Another guy that, the evangelicals prop up, like Mr. One, who was the one that everybody talks about, but he was a Freemason.
Well, a whole lot of them are Freemasons, Bill. That narrows it down real good, right?
I'm trying to remember. He's a very popular old theologian. I can't. We've talked about him. My memory sometimes.
All right, don't worry about it. I'm going to try and roll through some of these older topics so I can get them out of the way.
Yes, let's do.
This is from late last year. You see how they use Emmanuel Jupiter Macron, the Roman Catholic, who married his drama teacher from the Jesuit high school he was going to. She left her husband and children so that she could marry a student. And this was the leader of France. Excuse me. So, do you see how the Jesuit scum are jamming Jews into the spotlight? Emmanuel Macron buffeted on all sides because he's not obeying separation of church and state. How is he not obeying separation of church and state? By the way, I'm just using that as a phrase. France doesn't have that judicial precedent. They just have pure satanic. They have Catholicism or atheism. Like I said, those are the choices that the whore wants for you. Those are the choices Satan wants for you. Antichrist or no Christ. Those are the two choices. And Macron, blown up in the papal press because he supposedly is sucking too much circumcised cock. See that? It must be the Jews. Macron walked away from atheist secular France. Meanwhile, he's a devoted Roman Catholic. Do I show the photographs of him giving tongue to Francis? But you see how they are constantly jamming Jews up your ass. Macron taking heat for too much deference to those damn Jews.
It makes a real us versus them paradigm because you can say, oh, well, you're anti-Semitic if you say anything about it on one side. And then the other side can say, oh, well, he's, supporting religion, but, it's not a Christ religion. So.
And that's why they do it.
Yeah.
And that's why they do it. Doing anything they can to keep Jews in the spotlight.
Go ahead.
All right. Darnell, you want to talk about this? This is old. I'm getting rid of this old stuff here.
Sure.
Yeah, this is probably true. It's not a smoking gun. Oh, it's taken down.
What's going on? Is this the Super Bowl thing or is this?
No, this is the TD Jakes P. Diddy.
Oh, man. Yeah, they took it down.
All right, just give a summary.
But so we're talking about TD Jakes with P. Diddy. I think I got another site I can put in the Zoom chat for you. I don't know if you...
That's fine, but just give a summary to the audience.
Yeah, basically TD Jakes, I mean, if you're a TD Jakes fan, just stop. Please stop. He is on top of his false doctrine, if you weren't already aware, which is false, whether you like it or not. He's partying it up with people such as P. Diddy, homosexual. And he has a reputation. T.D. Jakes as being a homosexual as well. And he parties it up with this guy. He's sung at P. Diddy's birthday party. There's a long history of T.D. Jakes and homosexual allegations. I'll say myself and a brother, D.L. Foster, who came out of homosexuality, thank God. There were some people who were talking to us over a decade ago about this guy, T.D. Jakes. And they were afraid it was kind of like we were going to expose it, then didn't. But they were afraid back then of what could happen bringing this stuff out. But this is not new news. T.D. Jakes being a homo and running men and younger. But I'll wait to see if more of that comes out. But Eddie Long was exposed. I'll say he's not there's a network, and him and TD were also friends, but I won't get into that until more comes out public.
All right. We covered this before. I'm just going to hit it up again. The lesbian prime minister of Serbia is rumored to be the child of Aloysius Stepanak. A evil individual. And you see how easy they can manipulate the politics of Serbia. Serbia has been targeted.
So that's
Serbia's
a
been
woman
targeted
in the picture.
Say again?
That's a woman in the picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the prime minister of Serbia. Prime ministerette of Serbia. And this is from my dear friend, Marco from Croatia. The actual accusations are impossible to track down, but Marco from Croatia sent some kind of a, I'll share it with you. Some kind of post making the accusation. But they have a hatred. They have just a vicious, and this shows you the power and control of the Catholic Church and the hatred they have for Orthodox Serbia, that they have used the might of the United States military to fabricate a war and slaughter Serbs. And this is on the heels of the Ustashi outrages from World War II, which have been erased. We've been absolutely erased from history. The most brutal, satanic, bloodthirsty, and they're erased because many of the monsters were actual collared Catholic clergy. Some of the most demonic Ustashi monsters were ordained Catholic clergy. That's why no one ever talks about it. It's funny. Way back in December of last year, we're talking about the whole red shoes thing, the Tony Podesta party, and this all traces back to red shoes of the Pope. I'm going to share with you of several examples of how the total control. Let's see here. Why do I open this? The Podesta Red Shoe Party. That was for charity.
Now you got me thinking about Wizard of Oz, and from Wizard of Oz to that Wicked, with
Sure.
the green black witch.
That qualifies. I mean, it wasn't obvious because they didn't make a big deal out of them being red, but that's exactly what they were. And all of the satanic involved with Wizard of Oz. Let's see here. Yep. The magic red shoes, which of course we shared this again previously.
Which I think in the original stories, they were supposed to be golden slippers, but they didn't look good in Technicolor.
Oh, they didn't look good in Technicolor? Or the Jesuits that did the fucking movie had an agenda?
That was
Yeah.
probably their excuse, but I agree. I think it's
Fucking Microsoft. I shared with you how they did this again in the 2013 movie.
And the inside of those shoes are golden, but they're saying that gold shoes can't look good in Technicolor.
that was the story. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
that's true story or not.
Yeah, probably their excuse to get.
Because
get
I've
them
never read Frank L. Baum's Wizard of Oz books. You know, they never interested me. Neither J.R. Tolkien or I couldn't even read that other The Chronicles of Narnia either. So
All right, and the red shoe in for the little Asian girl in Pacific Rim.
and there was a series of movies called The Red Shoe Diaries.
Right. I'm going to put all this together. I'm going to have to do a separate folder on it. I'll include Wizard of Oz as well. I'm going to have to save that one. All right, got TD Jakes. Oh, right. I had forgotten that Frederick Tupper Saucy, thank you, Hawkeye. Frederick Tupper Saucy claimed, and he was almost certainly a Jesuit, so he was probably absolutely spot on with this, that Lorenzo Ricci secretly commanded the Rosicrucians. I guess I'll play this link that Hawkeye has for us.
Of his army. Lesser mystics than Ricky, who secretly commanded the Rosicrucians, have been known.
Good old Walter Veith. Two C's are pronounced ch, Ricci, which is why Fauci is one C and pronounced Fauci as far as I'm concerned, or just cockroach, Jesuit, demon.
To die, and then at the opportune moment to be resurrected. So here is the general of the Jesuits. He's put into jail, and the time is just before 1798. And the Bible tells me that the beast out of the sea seemed to have a mortal wound. Doesn't say.
All right, it's interesting. Right on the heels of this, I have this note in my work. Paul blasting the Judaizers of Galatia for observing Sabbaths. You are no more a slave, but a son once you're saved, and if a son, also an heir of God through Christ. But then indeed, not knowing God, you served as slaves to the ones not by nature being God's. This is Galatians 4. But now, knowing God, but rather being known by God, how do you turn again to the weak and poor elements to which you desire again to slave anew? Okay, in other words, Paul is saying, stop thinking you can earn your salvation. And here it is. This is the exact same pattern in Colossians. The exact same pattern in Colossians that my beloved Adventist friends think they can wiggle out of by saying Sabbaths in Colossians 2 with an S doesn't mean the weekly Sabbath. Do not let anyone judge you in eating or in drinking in respect to a feast, a new moon, or a Sabbath. The exact same pattern as Paul blasts the Judaizing Galatians. Months, seasons, and years. I'm sorry, days. Days, months, seasons, and years. Pardon me. Days, months, seasons, and years. That covers everything.
Yeah.
And by the way, how about this one?
Well, those slippers were silver, by the way, in the original.
Fantastic.
I stand corrected. Yeah,
Fantastic.
silver would never look good on Technicolor.
How about this? I think it's Sabatone. Is it 16 or 17? Yeah, 16. Sabatone, which is plural. Guess what? In the Septuagint, Exodus 20 uses the exact same Greek. In the Septuagint. And I even have that. Let me dig that up. I have a link for you.
You know, this is the messed up part about when a religion kind of builds out itself and makes up things, and then it's like they don't want to turn back. They don't want to admit that they're not Jesus. They didn't
blasphemy.
get it right.
It's blasphemy. It's blasphemy. In the Septuagint, Exodus 28 uses the exact same. Sabatone. Do you see this? Do you see this? The exact plural. Oh, it says Sabbath in Colossians 2:16, so it's not talking about the weekly. That exact same word is what is commanded in Exodus 20, verse 8. That exact same word. Galatians 2:15, pardon me, Galatians 2, verse 4. False brothers secretly snuck in, to spy out our freedom, our liberty, which we have in Christ Jesus, that we might be bound, put into bondage. That's all legalism, Adventists.
Yeah, there's no scripture where the Gentile church, and let me stress again, Gentile church, were told they had to keep a day. They may have agreed on a day. They may have had days that they agreed on or times or whatever, but there was never a mandate to keep the full Decalogue. Especially the Sabbath part. I mean, the others make sense, but the Sabbath was just not enforced on the Gentile church.
All right, I have a bunch of notes on this that I wasn't going to get into, but it's in the dossier, it's in the docket, so.
And Acts 15 is just too uncomfortable for some folks because they can't just accept, well, that's it?
So, guys, listen, the point is, the critical point is, it's blasphemy to think you can work towards, and Adventists will counter, well, that's not. It's not legalism. We're not working our salvation. Yes, you are. You're promoting your own works. You're making yourself feel good about your works. Christ fulfilled even the Decalogue. Christ fulfilled and then expanded it with his Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's Gillespie asked in the chat, is there a pre-Gregorian calendar? I'll say you have to make it yourself, and you can easily do that with the moon if that's what you want to do. You don't have to, but I mean, it's easy. When the moon goes dark, a month begins, and you count your days from there. And when it goes dark again, a new month. And so you have to start your first day over. It's not consistent with what we call a week, because your new month starts a new beginning of a week too. Never align like the resurrection day and things like that. That's been too twisted up.
This Colossians 2:16 and 17 is a pattern that is all throughout the Old Testament. Festival, new moon, and Sabbath covers all Sabbaths. And it is a pattern. This is the brilliance, the continuity of the New Testament. 1 Chronicles 23. Offer up burnt offerings to the Lord for Sabbaths, new moons, and appointed feasts. Weekly, monthly, and season, which is usually annual. Then again in 2 Chronicles 2, Sabbaths, new moons, and appointed feasts. It is the exact same pattern in Colossians. It covers all Sabbaths. There is nothing you can do to earn salvation, and that is Hosea 2. By the way, this is fascinating. In these later editions, the Holy Spirit inverts the order because it is being rejected by Yahweh. Because the Jews doing this are sinful hypocrites. They're not godly Jews. You see this? Subheading, Israel's unfaithfulness punished. I will bring an end to your feasts, new moons, and Sabbaths. You see how the order is reversed? And again, Colossians 2:16 through 17. All of this is the shadow. Christ is the substance. And if you lose that, you're blaspheming. Same pattern in Ezekiel 45. Ezekiel 20. Christ fulfilled the covenant. Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5. Do not think I've come to abolish the law and the prophets. I've not come to abolish, but to fulfill. And how did he do that? He expanded it. My favorite, Jeremiah 31. I will give you a new covenant. I will put this new covenant on your hearts, not in stone. and I will give it to a new people. Okay? All right, why did that get blown up? Let's reduce that again. Got it.
Yeah, Gillespie was also mentioning that the lunar calendar worked for the ancients for millennia. And I mentioned
Yeah, we
too,
desperately. Okay, so great point, all of you guys, especially in the chat, guys. Well done in the chat, David. Listen, what is the modern calendar? Where does it come from? It's the Gregorian calendar, Pope Gregory. Who designed it? Jesuit Christopher Clavius. Why did the Jesuits design the calendar? To obscure biblical prophecy, to make sure that critical passages of the Bible did not line up for you. And who uses the Gregorian, who uses the Jesuit calendar designed by Christopher Clavius? Everyone. Everyone. That is the power of the Roman Catholic Church.
Unfortunately, we're bound by it.
Yeah, it went from lunar to Julian to Gregorian. So you've got, the Julian was the first hack of the calendar, and now you got the Gregorian was a hack.
All right. I have this interlude here. I didn't mean to subject you to that. I dug for that, and I'm just playing it because I dug for it.
So 60s. Typical 60s music.
Okay, yeah. I've got something on Spurgeon. Somebody sent me on Spurgeon. I'll have that in the docket. Oh, great job, Darnell. Did you find the specific reference to the shoes?
Yeah, I put that in the chat. Basically, I did a word search on the original book from 1900 for shoes, and everywhere it comes up silver. Every time it mentions the shoes and the color, silver. So I didn't read the whole book, but I'm pretty sure they're silver.
Oh, and is there Jesu? Is Baum a Jew? L. Frank, is that Francis?
Good question.
I think so. We could. Look, yeah.
Lyman Frank Baum.
There you go.
Let's see here. Is that his Jesu? He's Jewish? No, Methodist. Okay, whatever. I'll look again for more Jesu later. Doesn't have to have Jesu on him. Died at 62 of a stroke.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, it says the witch successfully tricks Dorothy out of one of her silver shoes. Angered, she throws a bucket of water at the witch and is shocked to see her melt away. I'm melting.
Yeah, over the shoes. We get the Wicked Witch.
She wanted those shoes because they were very important. I guess they were powerful shoes because, witchcraft.
And this leads us right into Hawk being in the house.
Hey, Hawk.
This
I
is
had no
into the red Nikes worn by Marcus Aurelius. I can't remember his last name. The Who Framed Johnny, the Dodge Challenger car crowd attack.
Oh, good for you.
Center stage on 12 August 18. The anniversary of the Kursk date. We've covered that a few times. So, like Nike personal stake in many of the shooting events involving a certain kind of style weapon.
Deadly AR-15. So now we have.
You're great.
I am. Ariana Grande and
The
Cynthia.
She-Hulk. What is this?
She's the Wicked Witch of the, what was it?
The best
Easter.
way to bring folks together.
Something has changed.
All right. So
I think they're running with your flying monkey theme.
Yeah, we're going to do this again for the 666th time. Jokeywood, Hollywood Jesuit Theater has nothing to offer. So they're going to, I don't even know if you can say race swap. I think you can say race swap the Wicked Witch because she has obvious Negroid features versus being not having any particular ethnicity and just having a bunch of prosthetics.
It's ridiculous.
I guess black skin's easier to turn green. I don't know.
I think
But
Johnny, did you say green is the new black or black is the new green?
Right.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. She is the Wicked Witch of the West, is the green one.
And this idiot, this far left fucktard, John Chu, created this other, just fabricated this Glinda and took, I don't know what ethnicity Ariana Grande is, but this is fake skin tone. Painted her as well.
There was a film, 20 years ago, remember, called White Chicks? I can't remember, with the Wayne Marlon, the Wayne brothers.
Yeah, Wayne.
Not only did they gender swap, but do the race swap within the film, like caked on makeup. Obviously, it's good.
Well,
just disgusting to look at. Go ahead.
That's done for obvious humor.
Yes. Well,
this is done in seriousness. This is the same Ariana Grande who left the Catholic Church because the Catholic Church condemned her homo brother.
While we're still on this Wizard of Oz theme, I took a quick further look at L. Frank Baum's Wikipedia, and his racial views were to wipe out Indians, and he changed religions. He changed to the Theosophical Society.
Oh, perfect. He was a Luciferian.
Yeah.
That's the same. That's the Blavatsky Theosophical Society.
It says Matilda Jocelyn Gage was involved in getting them changed over.
Well, but this right. Hang on.
But I think it's the same group. It's definitely the same group. It's Madame Blavatsky's. At least Wikipedia is linking to that as the same.
Methodist, then Episcopal, then Luciferian.
Yeah.
Yeah. That she didn't found it. She was just central to it. Well, no, she did help found it. She helped co-found it. Perfect. Methodist, Episcopal into Luciferian.
Speaking of which, back to the August 12th. So the Kursk anniversary, the Charlottesville, the car, and Blavatsky. We've covered this before as another Sun Tzu type drumbeat. So Blavatsky born August 12th, 1831. But back to that August 12th date, having significance, being the most obvious back to the Kursk and what Johnny, it's awesome. You've stated it, but the fact that you put it in print. In I don't know if it was. Did you mention it in print in Romans? But certainly in Disciples, Raw.
I will surf it.
But how many? Back to this idea of just as what Saucy said in an interview about you have to when trailing a clandestine character or person. You have to examine by using, taking on that clandestine kind of mindset to almost have to, because no text, no source is going to directly tell you, especially when following or trying to trace somebody who has carefully covered their tracks, which is why in part we believe Saucy published Rulers of Evil in 1999 was the great reveal. Who was behind, one, the foundation of America, and two, the brilliance of the office of the Black Papacy. Look at what they've done. And look at what they've accomplished. And I think, I'm paraphrasing, Saucy, it was, I don't know if I can, obviously paraphrasing, but specifically that Ricci, so acting, so as the 18th Jesuit Superior General, but essentially knew his role, basically understanding his role from Scripture, so that knowing however he decided to act, he would fulfill not just his own wishes, but this is again, how do they see themselves? Do they know? Do the Black Popes know their role as the little horn power, and then which leads to who's the actual little horn? Is the white Pope, the Black Pope, the duality of the two offices? Did when one died in 1798, the white papacy was the resurrection of the Jesuit order in 1814? Did the Black Pope take on the role of the little horn? Or is the man of lawlessness, is there a different role than the little horn power? And anyway, it's fascinating. So you pulled it up. So is this Disciples? Fantastic.
It is Disciples.
Awesome.
And William, are you tracking all these? I mean, you've already got the thumbnail if you wanted to. Totally up to you, pal. But just have it ready for us because it's probably going to be a long one. Especially if
buy Johnny's books.
Love you, pal. As a matter of fact, Darnell, do you have to jet, pal?
Yeah, I gotta go. But Hawkeye, good video. Amazing how we were just talking a week ago and then that stuff came out. But
thank you. I think we all knew. It's like it's just a matter of it was palpable. Something's going to happen. It's just where and when on these particular days. It's just it's hand in glove.
Is that the one you just posted today?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. So
that's okay. That's okay. Right.
You play a prominent role in it, Bill.
I saw that.
And your cornbread.
Oh no, not the cornbread.
All right, guys.
It's Metro. Okay.
Love you, pal.
Good
to see you.
Thank you, Darnell. Love you, bro.
There we go. Yep.
Love you guys. Bye.
Hey.
Speaking of, we're rifling through old topics. Oh, wait, before I leave this.
I just want to say, this wasn't planned, but I'm liking we got Au Naturel and then some kind of other light happening. I like my lighting right now. Very rare.
Yeah,
so Blavatsky, okay, sorry.
Definitely unique. We got some soft pastels in Hawkeye's background there. Yeah, Grande left the Catholic Church for Kabbalah because the Catholic Church condemned her homo bro. Meanwhile, the Catholic Church is built on sexual deviancy and homosexuality. And gotta love the daily porn fail. Gotta love the daily porn fail. We'll get into this false flag. Twat Swat, Taylor Swift donates $100,000 to the Kansas DJ Lisa Lopez Galvan, who was supposedly shot dead in the mass shooting at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade. For fucking real. What a hero. We'll get into those false flags. Let me try and back up here and cover some of this stuff that's older so I can get it the hell out of the way. The Huckleberry sent this. Deist Thomas Jefferson helped build the Baltimore Basilica for the Catholic Church. And by the way, doing that in Baltimore, what have I told you? Maryland Calvert was the colony built by Catholics for Catholics. Let me pull it up. George's Calvert, right? Close that out. Hang on. Commissioned by was it Cecil Calvert? Which Protestant British king commissioned Charles I? Charles I, the Civil War king. Yeah, it was George. Cecil is his son. Charles I commissioned George Calvert to build a colony by Catholics for Catholics, which, by the way, is why we throw the patented Bill and Johnny bullshit flag on Maryland forbidding Catholics to vote. Why would Maryland forbid Catholics to vote? If it was built by Catholics for Catholics. Throwing the patented Bill and Johnny bullshit flag.
Just how about I'll add, so Jefferson, where is it? Having a birthday of 13 April 1743, shares a birthday with, again, is just as the Sun Tzu drumbeat, Jesuit order co-founder Peter Faber, and also Guido Fawkes, John Johnson. So that's those are interesting drumbeat connections. Just by dates alone.
Outstanding.
How about this is kind of it's interesting as well. 1953, CIA Director Alan Dulles launched the mind control program, Project MK Ultra. April 13th.
How do you do this, dude?
1953. Well, hey, remember, we've said we know that good old Wikipedia is a seemingly questionable source. I think we've proved time and time again it's a kind of cipher. It's a kind of cipher. The grid pattern it lays out is very, very strategic, very, very telling. And I appreciate that. Like it's very clear, very concise. Of course, you find something, get your secondary and tertiary sources, but for summaries, brilliant. But don't take it and run with it. Whatever you find on the old Wikipedia pages, always verify.
Thing I really
Sorry,
know.
I didn't mean to play that while you were talking.
No, that's okay.
All right. This is this fucking trigonometry.
So okay, go back. Just back up. Jefferson, was it there ever? Because there was the double murder on July 4 or 4th of July, 1826. Was it Jefferson and who else who died that day?
John Adams.
Okay. And John Adams, was it Adams that had the birthday of 27th September? Anyway, the fact that was it settled what kind of, because is there a clear belief system that Jefferson followed? Because it's like there's no specific or distinct tie to Freemasonry. There's did Doc had said something about as a deist. There's obviously something going on here, but I couldn't remember if because there's just like first president, so George Washington, there's his Freemasonic Roman Catholic, and then of course at his death, the Jesuit priest Leonard Neal. I don't know who the second. It's funny. I don't know who the second president of the United States of America was, but we have Jefferson. Anyway.
Yeah, Adams was. Wow, both of them were extremely elderly. Jefferson made it to 83. Adams made it to 90, which I would say is unusual. Adams was born on 30 October 1735.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe that's Samuel Adams. Another.
Right. Correct.
Wrong dude.
Correct.
Wrong dude.
Right.
Okay.
All right, we're bouncing around because I'm trying to get rid of these old topics. Let me see if I can put together. I've got notes, but they're not clear.
I think it's kind of important to note is that an awful lot of childhood these days is gorgeous, actually. It's kind of like they've fabulous activities, amazing birthday parties. They've got Christmas, which is just magical. They've even got all sorts of new kind of type Christmases like Tooth Fairies and Easter Bunnies and Halloweens. And it's unbelievably magical. And we as parents, because we're grim and jaded, we kind of get into it in an extremity that's never happened before. So you have a lot of people, for example, believing in Santa until really quite an old age. I remember, I say it in my book, there was my beauty therapist, she was doing my nails or something. I don't usually get things like that done, but she did. And the first time she got drunk was when she learned about Santa. She didn't, do you follow me? So she was 13 and she still believed in Santa.
Just sitting there.
And she was with her mates and they were all getting drunk. And she said, what are you getting for Santa? And they said, no, there's no Santa, and everybody laughed at her, and she was drunk, and she cried all the way home, drunk and crying.
She's 13 with her mates getting drunk, and that's how she found out that there's no such thing as Satan Claus. Are you fucking kidding me?
I went into her mommy's arm.
At 13.
You wait.
All right. I have notes here, and they appear to be related to a different vid, so I kind of fucked that up.
Okay, it's okay. Our kids are not all right. No shit.
Right. Here's a different one on how insurance companies have an absolute lock on personal details. Your personal details.
Garrett Brecker, so much to talk with you about. I mean, you're the guy single-handedly responsible for transforming Dana White. We'll talk about that. But first, I want to talk a little...
Oh, single-handedly transforming Dana White. Thank you so much. That fucking Catholic Luciferian piece of shit.
What about the background that brings you to where you are?
Yeah, he needs transforming, all right. He needs transforming 6 feet under.
Because one of the things you used to do, fascinatingly, is predict how long people are going to live and when they're going to die. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Sure. I was a mortality expert for large life insurance companies and large life insurance policies. And what this meant was, we know that everybody is...
So insurance is a fucking scam. And they put tremendous effort into scamming. and making billions. And here's one of the ways they do it.
On an actuarial curve. Both of you are on one. I'm on one. Everybody listening to this podcast is on one. You know, if you're a 34-year-old male, you have a life expectancy of X. If you're a 25-year-old female, you have a life expectancy of Y. But the truth is that when an insurance company is getting ready to put specific risk on your life, $10 million, $20 million, $50 million worth of life insurance on a single life, only one thing matters. And that's how many more months does that person have left on Earth? And interestingly, insurance companies have data that no other financial services enterprise has. The federal government doesn't have it. Universities and research foundations don't have it. And that is that they know the day, the date, the time, the location, and the cause of death for hundreds of millions of lives. And when you know that specific piece of information, you can pull it back into that person's records. Don't forget, they also have medical records on these people. They have blood work. They have some type of gene testing.
What the fuck happened to HIPAA? Isn't that shit supposedly restricted? Not to insurance companies.
They have all of their medical history. They have a blood test that they've done on their own. And so we take that data and we create pathways to predict how soon someone is going to die. And these predictions were done, to the month. And I get a lot of flack about it, but the truth is it's some of the most accurate science in the world. I've said many times that the database that I had access to, if that database could ever see the light of day, it would permanently change the face of humanity. I mean, it would upend modern medicine.
Stand by.
Gotta fly home.
I love his presentation in between two stethoscopes.
Yeah.
Tonight, because I got some constituency problem and I gotta press the flesh. Any constituent.
Tell me about Zola's algorithm.
Never heard of it.
What were you doing on the Luminarian Star?
I was throwing up. I get seasick. Is this little display meant to insinuate that you can throw me off the roof? Because it's really not just style, Rogers.
You're right. It's not. It's hers.
Oh, wait, what about that girl from accounting? Laura?
Lillian. Lip piercing, right?
Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah. I'm not ready for that.
Zola's algorithm is a program for choosing insights targets.
What targets?
You, a TV anchor in Cairo, the Undersecretary of Defense, a high school valedictorian in Iowa City, Bruce Banner, Stephen Strange, anyone who's a threat to Hydra. Now, or in the future.
In the future? How could it know?
How could it not? The 21st century is a digital book. Zola taught Hydra how to read it. Your bank records, medical histories, voting patterns, emails, phone calls, your damn SAT scores. Zola's algorithm evaluates people's past to predict their future.
What?
Insurance companies. Who doesn't have access? We just need we just need a complete reset that's going to come about from a civil war led by us.
Yeah, just a quick aside on that. Doesn't Falcon kind of remind you of Darnell?
He can be Falcon if he wants to. Okay, I don't know. Other than a physical resemblance, Anyway, let's keep rolling. I may have to turn it over. How long can you stay, Bill and Hawk?
Oh, I can stay as long as you want.
All right, we'll keep going then. Hawk, can you stay?
I'm about another 30 minutes.
That was fast. Okay. Let's see here.
While I'm thinking of it, while it's on the today, death anniversary, Martin Luther, February 18.
What, birthday?
Death day. anniversary.
18 February is Martin Luther's death date.
Yeah. Yeah. 10 November. I don't have the year. Off
That's
the
right.
heart.
10 November is his birthday.
Yeah. Which is Leo the 10th's death day anniversary. And I think isn't it the founding of the Marine Corps also has a November 10
Correct.
birthday? Yeah.
Correct.
Anyway, just wanted to note though, today being Luther's death day anniversary.
Well done. All right, William, hurry up. Do what you got to do because I need to step away for just a minute.
Is that? But it feels like the ending, though. Is that the ending?
It sort of has to be now. It sort of feels like
Graham Linehan. Am I saying that right?
I don't know.
The atheist Irishman that produced the hit TV series Father Ted.
Dougal, look.
Hilarious.
After that, anything we ask is going to be weird.
Yeah.
But as you know, I mean, we do ask, before we go to questions from our supporters, and a lot of people have asked questions, we do tend to ask our final question, which is, what's the one thing we're not talking about that we should be? And you know, you might have thoughts on it, you might not.
No, I can.
Yeah.
So they brought him on the show because he is anti-trans, and the industry is fucking him over as a result.
Something up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, is that? Are you asking me now? Oh, I see. Sorry.
This is actually like a conversation.
That's actually the question. Right. Right. Excuse me. Well, shit. The thing that just jumped into my head is Eric Hoffer's True Believer. I think everyone should be reading it. It is a history of mass movements, mass kind of delusions sometimes, and he wrote it in 1953. He was like some working class.
I thought I had something poignant there. I guess I don't.
Is this Graham or is it the other guys?
What, that created Father Ted? No, this is one of the key guys behind Father Ted.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
All right, and I had this. I don't know if Hawkeye's got. William Francis Buckley Jr., credited by Vanity Fair as paving the way for Roman Catholic Navy Guantanamo Bay prosecutor Ron DeSantis, as he goes and speaks at brand new Our Lady of the Worthless Miracle in Naples, Florida University. Brand new Catholic university there. AMU. What the hell is AMU? Ave Maria University. You kidding me? Ave Maria University. Brand new. Oh, the Catholic Church is waning.
Hail Mary.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. Hang on. This is for the Hawkeye then. Let's see here.
Yeah, we've covered this.
Boy, how many times has this been played in movies?
Well, but identical. They cloned it for the Batman. This is 2007. The Batman was what, 2020? Just cloned it. Just cloned
22.
it.
Probably.
Yeah, well, a different version. Obviously, Sam Strong. Remember Franz Schubert. So back to this, because there's a connection. Claudio Alcoviva connection, fifth Jesuit Superior General. And I said it before. So whenever you hear Ave Maria, you're hearing the voice of the Jesuit Superior General.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Which is why think of the prominent films. Okay, two in particular. The one Hitman, Jump Ahead, 15 years, and you've got the Batman, which is an archetype of the Jesuit Superior General with Hail Mary, Francis Schubert's song, and so it's essentially the voice of Claudia Alcaviva covering the film, the message of what we learn in the Batman film.
Dr. Fate is in the audience, and I didn't say hello to Dr. Fate. Thank you, Lauren. Much love to you. It's great to see you. All right, let me turn the wheel over for just a minute or two while I go address something with the wife to my co-host. Can you handle take the wheel?
I certainly can.
Okay, take the wheel, and I'll be back in just a minute or two.
Awesome. While we're speaking of it, so the Hitman, the 2007 film, so directed by Xavier Gens. So bearing the last name of Jesuit Order co-founder Francis Xavier, I can't remember off by heart the background, but I think there's certainly some Jesuit residue.
Now, who starred in that?
Timothy Elephant. Timothy the Elephant.
Timothy the Elephant. I'm trying.
And then of course this stuck out for me. So having the release day of 21 November 2007, 21 November being I believe it's is it the death day? No, the birthday of Francis Mary Arouet, also known as Voltaire.
Voltaire. Okay.
And I don't remember off by heart the entire plot of the Hitman, but
no, I don't remember hearing it.
That's okay. Timothy, I can't remember Oliphant's background, and I'm sure I think Cap would be able to nail it. But interesting enough, though, the fact that you have a film that opens, speaking of the Hitman, 07, essentially showing us what think of this, what the saying. Well, I think it has a couple different. It's attributed to a couple different authors. One of them being Francis Xavier. Give me the child until he is 7, and I'll give you the man. And we've covered. Let's see. I think I can't remember exactly which video, but juxtaposing that imagery to Alberto Rivera speaking of that the Inquisition's doors are still open till today. The Inquisition has been renamed the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, and the doors are still open.
Right. And
the fact that you have the barcode branding, the teaching and training of weapons, fighting techniques, how to kill, how to not be killed, how to be stealth.
Looks like he was channeling his Lex Luthor look for the Hitman with the baldness.
Well, yeah, you think of every what does a shaved? So I think this has come up a couple times in the recent past of what does a shaved or a bald head, what does it conjure up, like when you think? So like
I always thought it represented an Aryan nation or skinheads.
Sure, that's good. That's a good connection. I think it's funny. I remember in high school almost doing the same, but there's a utility to shaving one's head, especially if you're like a skinhead. So fighting, when you have no hair, your hair cannot be used against you as restraint.
Right.
But there's a look. Remember, so there's the monastic style life. What a person will give up, living on pane agua, bread and water,
right?
And getting renouncing the comforts of life in order to so supposedly serve. So this look obviously has the monkish look. Pick your paradigm, pick your belief system,
right?
But obviously, and then also
because the monasteries, in was it Tibet or somewhere? I remember a television series back in the early 70s called Kung Fu, where they would shave all the monks had all their hair shaved off, and whenever they fought, they shaved. Whenever it was David Carradine, who committed strange. He died mysteriously. They found him in a closet, strangled himself for that.
Yeah,
that was
the
some weird.
autoerotic. I don't know. Okay,
yeah.
whether or not it's staged, just like Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Because we're shown let's see another character or another actor who plays characters consistently with the chrome dome, very short hair. Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Which film called The Mechanic, which is a remake of the Charles Bronson. I can't remember the years, but it doesn't matter at this point. But there's a sequence and scene of Statham with his character Arthur. I can't remember the last name, but with Ben Foster's character, and it's the first time Foster's character accompanies Statham's character to a killing, and they set it up to look like the way Carradine and Williams and some others have died, like autoerotic asphyxiation. So whether or not it was staged, so that we have this narrative that we think this, we make judgments on a person based on the way that they died. And of course, what an embarrassing way to be found dead. Like it's not just public, but your immediate family, your wife, your children, they carry that forward. That's your legacy.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, but going back to the
well,
idea
they try to, what they do is they cover that up. When they mention the deaths of Carradine and Robin Williams, they neglect to tell you how he died. They just said he passed on, but they to save embarrassment. They'll tell you if he died of AIDS or if he died of something else less embarrassing, they're not afraid to say it. But then when somebody died the way Williams and Carradine died, that won't be brought up. So. So, you're muted.
Oh shit! Thank you very much. The idea that it's so common knowledge and it's uncomfortable that nobody needs to say it or acknowledge it. But I think it was I hate it. I know we dislike having to go down this, but the fact that what the Family Guy telegraphed Williams' death. In I can't remember the episode, but I think within our audience, everybody we were familiar with. There was a particular episode where so many things were done to the Robin Williams cartoon character, and it's like he couldn't die. And one of those things, having something tied around his neck, didn't he have limbs cut off? It's like pulling it's okay, but pulling like the Simpsons telegraphing like names, places, and dates, and event like this, something coming up. I think even the same thing can be said with Kobe Bryant, and I can't remember in the manner in which he died. Helicopter, the Masonic sign on the helicopter. I can't remember which cartoon. Anyway. Shaved head, shaved nuts.
Yeah. Plus, he had a barcode on the back of his head too, the Hitman. But I guess that's the way the character was in. Is this from a comic book? Was the Hitman based on a comic book character?
Yeah, good question. I wish. Because
I was looking at the photographs of the actor. And
the Hitman origin. No, I think in part there's the video game. That's what my first reference. I've never played it, so I'm not the geek. I wish I could be just with some things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's interesting. But I just happened to see one of the pictures with his barcode, and it was brought up by comicbook.com, was doing it says some of you may remember that there was a film adaptation of the popular Hitman franchise. So I guess it was a franchise. I don't know. I'm just reading.
Hey, it's okay.
What comicbook.com was saying about the movie and stuff. But
Yeah, I don't have the source.
I don't
but-
mean to stray off of that, but you brought up some good points about the bald head because, like you said, I always thought it was, because we had the Aryan nation, they shaved their heads. The monks in the monastery shaved their heads. The Manson family, when Manson, during the trial, they all shaved their heads. So, so there's a lot of connotations.
Yeah, it certainly needs
with that.
Certainly with this idea of hair, human hair, whether man or woman,
Mm-hmm.
and going back to so whether we're going back all the way back to Babylon,
Right? Because I was hesitant at a time, my head, because I'm practically bald anyway, with the exception of the patch in the back. But the thing of it is I was hesitant for a long time to shave my head in the summertime because it's cooler. Heat wise, I never thought it would, represent, but I hesitant to do it because I didn't want anybody. I mean, they already thought I was a narc anyway. So, to go all the way.
No, hell no.
Real quick, guys. Narrow Path in the chat says Gary mortality expert Brecca is a clown, a serious clown. That's interesting. What do you have that you're throwing the bullshit flag on Gary Brecca over? I've never heard of the guy. Obviously, he's big. That's why those two doofusi on trigonometry brought him on there. But interesting. I haven't even looked at him. I haven't looked at his bio for Jezidoo. But interesting that you...
Well, we were talking about the Hitman and I
Dr. Fate says he's got all three of the games.
Yeah, see, I never heard of it, and I never heard of the actor who played in the movie, and I looked his name up.
Ooh, Timothy Olyphant, you've never heard of him?
Yeah, no, I haven't. He looks familiar. I might have seen him in something else, but I know
he's got his own. He's got his own series, some kind of Western series.
Right, Deadwood or something.
Right.
I was going to say Santa Clarita Diet, the cannibalism. I've never seen it, but that's my instant association with Oliphant.
But we were talking about how, this character's bald in this, and we talked about Statham, and we talked about the monks and everything. And I noticed he also has a barcode in the back of his head.
The utility of short hair.
Yeah, and we discussed, and that's why I'll keep my hair short, but I'm not going to shave it anymore in the summertime. I let it grow out to keep my neck warm in the wintertime. But in the summertime, I used to shave, but I just shave it. I just cut it close, not bald anymore. So don't like to be a chrome dome.
No barcodes though. No barcodes. No tattoos.
No, there's no barcodes back there. No.
We were acknowledging the give us a child, give me the child, or give me the boy before you're 7. I'll give you the man.
Right.
And the director Xavier Jens, the fact that even just the name alone, having a man, we don't not necessarily know his exact background at the moment, but having that Xavier connection to the Hitman, and the opening with Ave Maria, Hail Mary, and the connection to Claudio Acquaviva, 5th Jesuit Superior General.
All right. I've got a couple of clips on this guy. Clean your own room, Christians.
Speaking of, how about this? Okay, just noticing. So ICE mentions Buddhist.
Are you fucking kidding me? I had the fucking. Are you kidding me? I had the fucking clip, and it's.
Well, take your time.
Well, I'm very excited to introduce
the
this
wrong
next
one.
session. It's
What
a
the fuck?
panel
Are you kidding
discussion
me?
between
Okay.
three extraordinary men.
All
Bishop
right, I'm sorry. I do have the clip. This is the wrong one. This is where
Robert Barron, Dr. Jordan Peterson, and Father Mike Schmitz.
Robert Barron, another priest. So clean your own room, Christians. All right, my fault. I had it in a different location. Here it is. Thank you, Hawkeye, for finding this for me.
Is this with the tattoo?
I've been talking to a lot of
yep.
Islamic thinkers, and I have a lot of Muslim people have watched my biblical lectures, like a lot. And so I have a following, strangely enough, among the Muslim community and among Orthodox Jews and broadly among religious
has the balls to lecture on the Bible, and yet
communities. And, the Christians are often on me to come out and just profess my faith in Jesus Christ as our universal Savior. And whenever I'm, let's say, questioned in that manner, it's always a trap.
It's a trap.
Did you notice, back up 5 or so, 10 seconds, and Bet David's, whether or not something was going on in the room, but it was interesting watching his response to what Peterson was saying.
Muslim community and among Orthodox Jews and broadly among religious communities. And, the Christians are often on me to come out and just profess my faith in Jesus Christ as our universal Savior. And whenever I'm, let's say, questioned in that manner, it's always a trap. It's like, join my club. It's like, you just stay in your own club.
You say your own club, Christian. Hang on. No, Christian. Hold on.
You're Christian.
No.
No, Christian.
No, Christian. Now, not only is he doing lectures on the New Testament as well, on his own channel with 7.73 million subscribers.
I know many of you have been very much anticipating this dialogue. You've told us as much over the last couple days. First, a few introductions, and I'll be very brief because I want to give most of the time to these three men. First, Bishop Barron. I introduced him last night to you, but he's, of course...
Hawk, did you send me that? Here it is. Is this all from this video?
No, the first...
Here it is. I'll show it to you right now. It is this. There it is. That's IHS with the Jerusalem cross. That cross stands for either Jesus and then the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, or it could be Jerusalem and then north, south, east, and west. Basically, the gospel's gone out to the whole world. And the name of Jesus. So, got the...
I was making a short video. I don't know a lot about this guy. I've seen a couple things, but I was preparing a short video for that. And then, of course, with this, what was it, literally published yesterday, or uploaded yesterday, whether the event took place yesterday with Peterson, Barron, and Schmidt. Sorry.
Schmidt.
Yeah,
oh, here he is with Marky Mark.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and this is Ascension Presents.
Yeah, but essentially being marked, like the mark of there's the Jesuit monogram, which is not acknowledged, and there's nothing explicitly Jesuit.
Here it is. I'll show it to you right now.
And there's nothing Jesus about it.
There it is.
Either.
That's IHS.
Yeah, and then there's another link I sent.
I love how he branded himself with this, explains it, and never says the word Jesuit.
Yeah.
No. He says Jesus. He says Jesus. I don't see Jesus in that at all.
And the Hawk has some interesting notes on the birthday.
14
December 1974.
Yeah, just for us. So that the anniversary, George Washington, with the Romans of Mass Destruction publication date,
and Sandy Hook,
and then of course, the Sandy Hook event. But you have Father Mike Schmitz having the connection there with dates alone. But then again, branding himself with the IHS monogram. and it's the so-called Jerusalem cross. And I believe he got this tattoo in Jerusalem. And then later there's a second link, which is a timestamped later in the video, where as part of his street preaching technique, when people ask him about his tattoo, he's able to say, "Oh, that's the name of Jesus." And it's like, no, to me, what I'm hearing is the Jesuit Superior General is Jesus. That's where we're going with that. So he's pointing people to essentially the Jesuit Superior General, not Jesus of Nazareth.
By the way, IHS, and we've been over this before.
I love this. Thank you.
I'm don't know if very many people that get this right. This is the Gnostic Trinity. So there are people who have stated this stands for Isis, Horus, Set. Well, that's not accurate. Set was Horus's evil uncle, not his father. His father was Osiris. This is the Gnostic Trinity, Isis, Horus, Serapis. Serapis is an amalgam of Apollo and Osiris. See that? Greco-Egyptian. This is Isis, Horus, Serapis. Is the IHS.
There's something interesting. Well, whether rabbit trail. I think just hit this. This is brilliant, because how many never they'll go to, what today's Sunday. How many Sunday goers to whatever, pick your building, pick your structure, and it's not seemingly, but there'll be an IHS hanging around, whether it's up in front of the altar or the podium or whatever you want to call it, or it's hanging on a curtain or a garment somewhere, but they got the IHS branding and nobody knows what it means.
As above, so below. Right. There's something else from the Hawk here.
Yeah, and there's how about this though? There's your George Washington, back to the birthday, the death day birthday connection. The fact, like it may seem like a stretch or a weak thread, but the fact you're in the Capitol Rotunda, that you have the ascension, what do you call it? The
apotheosis
of whom? Of George Washington. And then of course you have this birthday connection to Washington's death date, to this. There's an article that it's like Schmitz's voice is popular amongst not just Catholic, like amongst the young, whatever his so-called ministry is, he clearly has a reach. And then of course I think in part now the Peterson Barron connection is going to talk about what's his channel, Ascension Presents. 90 what,
and Marky Mark looked really thrilled to be on it too, by the way.
Yeah. So they're blowing up this guy. Sorry, that probably sounds whatever it sounds like, whatever it sounds like, but they're blowing up this guy, Puff Mike Schmitz. So now that he's got the
but along those lines of like, why? I love, that's a great question. Why not? When Jesus dies, rises from the dead, descends to heaven, it's over. Or Eden again. And I think part of it goes back to, if you go back to the very first chapters of Genesis. Where
and you're remarking on this because you could see it underneath this wristwatch there.
Yeah, you see something, you don't know what it is, but then obviously I added the other links just so we know what we're clearly looking at. So is this the Jesuit on the incognito Jesuit on the stage?
One really cool thing is whenever someone asks, like, what does that say? What does that mean? I get to tell them about the cross, but then I also get to say, and this is the name of Jesus. I can't tell you.
Is the Gnostic Trinity the name of Jesus?
It's wonderful to be able to talk with you all about Jesus, talk with our students about Jesus, to talk with the people who come to seek me out about Jesus.
And yet we'll have the Queen of Heaven there very prominently when we stream. But we're going to talk about Jesus.
But it's another thing to talk to strangers and be able to say the name of Jesus to them. This stands for the name of Jesus. And just to see that something in the air changes when you say the name of Jesus. And this is afforded.
This is the man who represents the entity that has burned, tortured, murdered more real followers of Jesus than any other entity in existence. And let's see that Marky Mark.
Welcome back, everybody. Today is Ash Wednesday, marking the beginning of...
Oh, Secular Today. Is it CBS, whatever? And we'll have Marky Mark in the studio with the mark of Cain on his head.
Actor, producer, and an entrepreneur. He is also a guest narrator and paid spokesperson for the Catholic prayer app called Hallow.
What? This Hallow is making the rounds.
Yeah, co-founded by Alex Jones, not the Bill Hicks Alex Jones, but another young man named Alex Jones.
I can't help but think that's done on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
I probably deleted that Hallow was a sponsor of the Beneford Shrimpo show. It's also... I have so many emails to cover through. Hold on.
It's okay. And I got a little bit of video about that posted out just about a week ago.
Come on.
And this, a guest narrator and paid spokesperson for...
Okay.
Yeah.
See if I did that right.
Like Rumi, Wahlberg, Liam Neeson, all lending their voices to this app.
All the good Catholics.
To give you the Ignatian experience.
As you know, we're very careful to select partners that we know you're going to love. And today I couldn't be more excited to tell you that this episode is sponsored by Hallow, the #1 prayer app in the world. I know this because I use this app.
What kind of prayer app? The #1 prayer app for a very specific group of people.
So it's sponsored by Hallow, the #1 prayer app in the
Catholic prayer app. Russell, come on, Russell. Somebody like you. God damn it. Fucking Microsoft.
Maybe you weren't wrong in saying that having technical difficulties throughout the week.
Yeah, besides the fact that I was... Come on, Russell. You can say Catholic. All right. And as I shared with you, okay. So do I go ahead and pull up what the Hawk has on it? Look at this. They're being recommended, even special for you videos.
Oh, third video in. Bring out Rome's Gimp, Ben Shapiro. Yeah.
Gimp's sleeping. Well, I guess you just have to go wake him up now, won't you?
We'll get to more on this in just 1 second. First, for my Catholic listeners, Lent, the 40 days leading up to Easter, that starts Ash Wednesday, February 14th. It's a time of intense prayer, fasting, and giving. Hallow's annual Pray 40 Challenge is one of their most popular. Last year, over 1 million people joined. This year, their Pray 40 Challenge focuses on surrender and includes meditations on the powerful book, He Leadeth Me.
I cannot recommend He Leadeth Me by Father Walter Chisik enough. It is
a story about a priest who became a prisoner and slave in the Soviet Union during the Cold War.
What kind of priest,
His story
Ben?
is one
What
of
kind of
ultimate
priest?
surrender.
Father Walter Chisik, one of the 150 Jesuit
This is
priests
creepy.
who answered the call of Pope Pius XI,
Watch this
who
one
in
eye.
1929
Fucking
was
hell.
concerned with the fact that the Soviet atheistic communist movement had captured the minds of more people in 30 years than the Catholic Church has been able to educate in 2000. As a result, Pope Pius XI called upon the Jesuits, the Marine Corps of the Catholic Church, to take on a...
Pause it. Did you catch that? What he was able to accomplish more in what, 30 years than the Catholic Church could do in 2000. Jump back. Can you jump back? I don't know. Did you catch that? That is important.
With the fact that the Soviet atheistic communist movement had captured the minds of more people in 30 years than the Catholic Church has been able to educate in 2000. As a result, Pope Pius XI called upon the Jesuits, the Marine Corps of the Catholic Church, to take on a special mission to determine what Catholic action could be taken against this way of life that was denying the free will of man and God. Of the Jesuits who entered the Soviet Union, Father Chisik was the only one to return.
Do you know this? It's Russia.
Go ahead, Bill.
And then there's
The
Baron's voice.
Marine Corps. The Marine Corps.
Well, as Hawkeye has already noted for us, I still actually have it. I don't have it marked, time-stamped.
By the Jesuits to...
Yeah, keep going. It's closer to the final quarter. Yeah, there we go.
Orthodox people, because Walter Chisik will oversee the entire Gulag in Russia for 17 years. He will spend a total of 23 years in Russia. And Kennedy in 1963 arranged for Walter Chisik to be released in exchange for 2 Russian spies. And so Chisik comes back, and he comes back to the novitiate.
Win for the fucking Jesuits. There's no release. So America got a big cock, and the Soviet Union got 2 spies back.
Over here in Winter.
Now, I want that.
And then Cisik's role now. Okay, there's so many. Of course, fuck. How many books have we not read, or I'm not read? It's just like, okay, there's so much information. But the fact that even Robert Barron, when discussing with Peterson the role of Chisik, when Chisik was leaving the country on a plane, Barron states he looked down at Russia, just as he's going up in the plane, and made the sign of the cross over it. It's like mission accomplished, job well done. My work here is done. So whatever Chisik, just like what we know and understand, like that silence film by Scorsese's silence film is gold in part. How subterfuge, yes, evil, yes, but what the story of infiltration and what they did to maintain their presence in order to turn the hearts and minds of the common person. It's like that's exactly what Chisik did. And then, of course, Barron was saying that Chisik had different masses and prayers, obviously committed to memory, being a Jesuit priest, and being able to lead mass, go from not cell to cell, but whatever group he was ingratiated in with, being able to lead mass, obviously somehow comforting in the hardships of the Gulag system, but obviously sowed whatever was sown, and that literally we're witnessing the fruit of it today under Vladimir Vladichovsky Putin. Tongue in cheek. Go ahead.
It's deeply upsetting what Brother White Power says.
Yes.
How Chisik went to, was it Treblinka? Or what death camp?
I think there was more than, I don't know. Do you need a specific?
He went there to train. He went there to learn how to torture people. He wasn't tortured himself. He went there to train and then became a chief inquisitor and did so for decades. And then fucking Kennedy trades a couple of Soviet spies? What the fuck is the president of the United States?
But that's on the surface. That's a surface narrative. Who knows, right? There's obviously something below the surface going on here. But it's like the flex of two world wars that clear plans put in place long before. It wasn't that Ledachowski he certainly mastermind of certain and specific events, but all the momentum of the office of the Black Papacy are like, think of today, the last 500 years, and he's just rolling with it. Ledachowski's role, World War I, World War II, the propaganda that came out, like we've discussed, Leni Riefenstahl, as Saucy expounds upon, just enough in Rulers of Evil, leading to, in America, the rise of the Billy Graham, the Fulton Sheens, and so on. And there's so much going on. How about in Vatican II specifically, from 62 to 65? And what emerges immediately after that? Well, in cinema, the emergence of the black monolith figure in Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, this is not by accident. And then, of course, with the music scene, the drug scene, and the fact that LSD being an ergo mold, and what it's coming out like it's in like mold and fungus is like taking center stage again. The bubonic plague is being mentioned again in mainstream media. There's something clearly going on here, and of course, the culmination of literally the last 500 years. But this Russia piece, I'm not an authority on Orthodox and history, but the fact that Peterson, the Orthodoxy is brought up so much, and I think in part it's to bring it into Western consciousness, and I think in part, just as you've nailed the two legs of the metal man statue of Daniel 2, you have Roman Catholicism and you have Orthodoxy, and they're being brought together, and we're witnessing it. And Peterson is being elevated as a very, very large selected.
You're talking about his handler, Jonathan Pajot.
I would say Jesuit trained certainly at Concordia University, which has a wing called the Loyola, named after Ignatius Loyola. But there's something certainly there, and I think we're in the midst of it, witnessing it and watching it unfold. And it's like that's why we need to have the essentially being okay. It's happening now. It's
by the way
now.
Right. I wanted to. We've shared this before. I'm going to hit it again. How clean your own room, Christian Peterson dismissed the so-called satanic panic, but spun. So what is the satanic panic? It is nothing more than the bubbling to the surface of what the Jesuit CIA satanic machine had been doing to children. And blown cover is cover. We'll call it the satanic panic and say that it's a bunch of silliness and legend and myth that never really happened.
You could think about them as psychological epidemics.
And here he is with this clown.
Yeah.
The last one of any real.
Hold on, let me play a fucking clip.
Size was the satanic daycare scares in the 1980s. What? You're probably not old enough to remember that. You could think about them as psychological epidemics. So the last one of any real size was the satanic daycare scares in the 1980s.
Psychological epidemic. Just dismiss it. It's a psychological epidemic. There's nothing to see here. By the way, as I've said before, one of the things that put Rudy the Red-Nosed Crossdresser on the map to be the gatekeeper in New York City on 9/11 was his work as a federal prosecutor. Shoving under the carpet the rape, torture, and abuse of the children of soldiers at West Point. Now I'm ready for him to give the input, and he disappears.
You're probably not old enough to remember that, but the longest sentence.
All right, and I've got other.
Well, I think his camera sometimes blinks out. He should come back on. He might have an interruption. Something. Like all of us, we always get
What I miss? What I miss? What I miss?
All right, no, I got the clip out. No, go ahead.
I think being able to sift, because Peterson does say some good things, some common sense things. I think I love the fact that the doc pointed out, like somebody comes into a room, speaks common sense, and because we're not used to it, it's like, that sounds amazing. I think that was a brilliant something to point out. He does say some good things, some profound things, but then laced with some very not so good things.
Listen, he wouldn't be on the map if he didn't have. But as who is it has been saying this? Isn't it you, Hawkeye, that says when you live in a sea of far left stupid, someone that has a modicum of common sense is brilliant. Doc said that. Okay.
Oh yeah. I absolutely agree. Yeah.
Well, let's see how. Go ahead.
I want to say, even Peterson's timeline. Now, certainly I can't remember if it was 2016 he appeared on the map, but of course 2016 significant for us because of course there's our year where we ended up having five popes on the map.
5 popes in preparation for the corona hoax. Here he is, the brilliant Bible expositor, talking about how he was reading the book of Abraham.
I was reading the book of Abraham, and in that book, God is deciding he's going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because they've won.
Listen there, Joker. I don't think you're reading the book of Abraham unless you got something that we don't know about. Are you talking about the book of Genesis? Here he is with Ukrainian Jew of questionable sexual appetites, Michael Kretschmer, a.k.a. Michael Malice, reading the book of Abraham. We'll get that one more time because I had it sitting there for a while.
I was reading the book of Abraham, and in that book, God is deciding he's going to.
Here he is with this Joker outfit, green tie, purple suit, for fucking real.
It could have been, obviously, misspeaks. The story could have been the story of Abraham or crossing story of Abraham.
He clearly, obviously he conflated it. I'm being unforgiving for a fucking reason.
Yep.
Okay, it's a simple mistake. Yes, he conflated it. He was thinking about Abraham. He was reading about Abraham and conflated it with the book of Genesis. But it's the point is that he is a fucking fraud. Okay? It's the kind of mistake that a novice would make, not someone that is credited as a brilliant biblical expositor that I'm going to rely on for knowledge of the Bible.
There's the danger, right?
The guy who tells Christians, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. The guy who tells Christians.
I've been talking to a lot of Islamic thinkers, and I have a lot of Muslim people have watched my biblical lectures, like a lot. And so I have a following strangely enough, among the Muslim community and among Orthodox Jews and broadly among religious communities. And
don't fence me in.
Hey, and remember, within multiple discussions, the acknowledging even calling it weird how many the following of young men so clearly.
Fucking kidding me.
Go back in this type of
Above, don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love.
Don't February me in.
Don't fence me in.
You know, the Christians are often on me to come out and just profess my faith in Jesus Christ as our universal Savior. And whenever I'm, let's say, questioned in that manner, it's always a trap.
It's a trap.
It's like, join my club. It's like,
yeah,
you just stay in your own club.
Be in your own club, Christian.
Me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in.
You fuck. The balls. All right.
Don't you say Biokino me in.
Right. The founder and progenitor of domesticating cattle.
Yeah, and the image, the archetype of the cowboy archetype.
Right. But isn't it Kino did both, right? He's the namesake of movies.
Yeah, and what a brilliant point. Again, I have to credit Saucy, Frederick Tupper Saucy III, Jesuit Freemason, and then blending the Athanasius Kircher, and because of Kircher's magic lanterns projecting well, think of the first films, cowboy films.
I love that,
Silent
Gordon.
Cowboy films.
Love you, Gordon, by the way. Gordon mentioning the hook. They hook you with truth to sell you a lie. Hook you with truth to reinforce a bigger lie. They tell you, they admit. How many times have we talked about this? Love you, Gordon. How many times have I explained this? The hook. They simply acknowledge a truth you already have, so they're not losing anything. And then they do that to bolster a bigger lie that they have. Example I have used. Okay, I'm not going to hammer. Let's just hammer Uncle Jesse Ventura instead. I know that people have been angry with me over attacking Judy Wood. Look, Judy Wood, Dr. Judy Wood, what does she say? I think she says she doesn't have the explanation for 9/11. Bottom line, one example of hooking is like Jesse Ventura saying 9/11 was an inside job. Jesse Ventura saying, okay, not Judy Wood. Jesse Ventura saying 9/11 was an inside job. Yes, I knew it. Thank you. How did the Twin Towers get? Oh, they were knocked down by particle beams from space. Hang on. I got something for that. Sorry. Give me a second.
You used to call Jesse Uncle Jesse in with the sound bite drop from the Predator. Is it the Predator? The what the fuck?
Oh, do I have that clipped? Oh, you're killing me. Add to my workload. Yeah.
The old Resistance Rising. Oh, we got Margot. We got Margot for that now.
Yeah, I just played it. You didn't hear. I didn't share
That's
it
okay.
with. I didn't share it with the Zoom because it was so fast.
I saw the visual. It was a silent movie. It was great.
Right. Let me check. Do I have? I do. I do have it. Hang on. Clips from Predator. I have to add that to my quick.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Predator. Do I have it? Come on. No. What the fuck? Come on. I do not have that. I have it as audio only. No, I know I have that. Come on. Oh, you know what? No, I've played it as a YouTube clip and I didn't save it. That's just wrong. All right, I'll pull that down and I'll have that for you.
What? I thought you had that as a clip.
So did I.
Well, let me see what I got here real quick. Hang on a second.
Just noticing. So ICE, yeah, Judy Wood. I don't. I think wasn't there some back and forth about what, unless we have. I've not read a book. I don't know if. And then of course certain specific sound bites. She does point out some very, very like, okay, throwing another, whether this is hey, there we go. The term justification. It's essentially. We do not know. There's no language that describes what we saw.
Perfect.
We don't know what we saw, but pointing out literally when shit was falling, it's literally disappearing. And it's like, what did we just see?
Okay. Can you let me share here for a quick?
Oh, I'm sorry, pal. Hold on. Yeah.
Okay. No, not yet.
Let me close this out. All right, go.
Oh, come on. Where? Did I? Oh, wait a minute. Did I get the sound in there?
That's okay, pal. I've already played it, so.
Oh, okay. See, I did it too, so.
It's all good, bud.
All right. Stop sharing.
Just
trying to help you out, bud.
No, gotcha, pal. Thank you.
I even got the Francis. I've got them all.
Good. So great points, Hawkeye. Justification means I don't know. In that, Judy Wood has called people to question the official narrative. That is excellent. Okay. But she doesn't give any answers, which I guess is okay.
Okay, we don't have that. It's the same thing. We don't know. Like, talk about one of those great mysteries. What the F happened that day? There's the eyewitnesses accounts, and then we have all this information that enables us to look back, and just like the narrative that it was pick your plane, pick your flight, that it was an unmarked plane, no wind, like. How this was how it was pulled off in the events in sequence, and yet it's back to the hook, line, and sinker. The mainstream narrative is what is still peddled today, and yet some of us, like, I'm trying to think of how old was I at that time? Certainly, in an event, many of us can say yes, a type of trauma seared into our psyches. And we can even name the exact moment where we were standing, what we were wearing when we heard of this, whatever it was going on, this world paradigm changing event that happened. Just so happened to, is it the potentially the legitimate birth date of Jesus of Nazareth? Fascinating.
And let's not forget. Right. And I was just distracted from the Jesse Ventura and Predator and his co-star Carl Weathers
and the recent passing.
Yep. Okay. All right, Bill. I saved that for you as well. And that one's easy. Hang on.
Which one's that?
Jesse Ventura's What the Fuck?
No, I never seen that one.
From Predator. You're not paying attention.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Never mind.
How about this? While I'm still with you, so Martin Luther, we got a death day anniversary. It happens to also be, remember, Oppenheimer is also his death day anniversary, 67. Fascinating.
Give me the date again.
So today, February 18, we have the death day anniversary of Martin Luther. It's also the death day anniversary of What the hell's his first name? Was it something? Back to this knowing and understanding people only by their singular, their first name because of some kind of affection. Whatever J. Do we know what J stands for? Johnson? John Johnson? J. Robert Oppenheimer died in 1967 on today, February 18. Am I making sense?
Julius.
Thank you. Yes, I think that probably just slipped my mind, but yeah, the fact we have a Julius Caesar, and what's his background? What's his do we say ethnicity?
He's Polish.
Yeah.
We've
Jews,
covered
right?
that before. That just like
Jews.
25, 30 different Jews that supposedly are the brain trust behind the A-bomb. By the way, speaking of A-bombs, remind me of Brother White Power. It's always good. Listen, it's critical for you to verify, validate anything, everything, and we should be batting 98, 99% when you do that with us. But Jesuits.org, to add to the intrigue surrounding the extraordinary Jesuit's life, Father Cizik's daring release, a complicated prisoner exchange with the help of President John F. Kennedy. So complicated.
Go back to the photograph. Just scroll down just so you can see him, Cizik, clearly. I'm just looking at his chest. The idea, though, that prisoner for 30 years, off and on, like he looks pretty well fed. Looks pretty healthy.
Yes.
Looks pretty healthy.
Yes. Yes. So this Jesuits.org, I've archived it. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat. William, where can I send you a link? You can have the Jesse Ventura what the fuck too.
While we got the Cizik image, the fact that Eric John Phelps discloses taking a trip to this, I can't remember the name of the cemetery, the Jesuit cemetery, or whether it had a specific area that was designated for Jesuit priests, but that there was the what was Kolvenbach? Peter John Kolvenbach was the 29th or 30th Jesuit Superior General, but in full cassock, in full regalia, with however many other priests, that there was some kind of ceremony was going on, that you have this eyewitness account from Eric John Phelps and honoring Walter Cizik and whatever they were doing around his grave. And what does he say? He made eye contact with Kolvenbach. He looked at me, I looked at him, but not that he knew me. Had to put that disclaimer in there.
All right. Well, I mean, you're certainly one of the most cynical members of the team, but I can't say that you're way out there. And I've been saying all along that I have huge misgivings that Eric John, Brother White Power Phelps, is an incognito Jesuit with a family on false pretenses. I will say that he appears to treat his family somewhat better than homosexual Jesuit Stephen Anderson, who raises and abuses young Nazis. William, I phone texted you the Predator what the fuck. It looks like it's shitty quality, pal.
Well, you should have used my email. That's how you've been sending them, so.
All right, bust my balls.
Sorry, don't worry about it.
Here.
Don't worry about
it.
I can find it myself.
Yeah, no, it's low quality, but at least it's edited and ready to go.
Okay, all right. Because I have a hard time getting crap off my phone sometimes.
That's fine. Yeah, no, I'm not a phone warrior.
That's okay. I'll get you back. I'll send you the thumbnail to the show today.
Guess what?
It's
I have
loaded.
Send it to asshole. Text it to me. Text it to me. I dare you. I'll still pull it down. And I just emailed you the clip. Anyway.
Okay.
Speaking of which, we just mentioned Julius Caesar Oppenheimer.
There you go.
Now the thing is, I'm not excuse me, well versed on this. I did post the irony of the stuff that we catches our attention, ettore majorana. So on my Hawkeye Rising YouTube channel, I posted it says 3 weeks ago. So let's read the story, and it's very, very condensed. Probably 10 minutes of like about a 30-minute storytelling. But whether ettore what Oppenheimer, how do I want to say this? Whatever Majorana was into, his work led into the Manhattan Project, and then of course was you have Majorana being Jesuit trained.
What's the name of the vid?
It's titled "Let's Read Ettore." So Ettore, Majorana, Jesuit Massimo Institute alumnus. So the thing, as I had said, I don't know the full history on this guy yet, but I think in part whether Oppenheimer was the vehicle to sell the narrative of whatever was produced. And there's a link in the description to the full story.
During the mid-1940s, the most powerful...
All right, summarize for us.
Oh, again, this brilliant character, scientific mind, trained by the Jesuits. Whatever he produced, I believe his work was taken and put towards the Manhattan Project. That, if I can, that's the best summary I can say. Without, I don't know enough to be able to speak about it with an authority. But that's why I tried to whittle it down in the best summary possible. So his life, his upbringing, education, what he did with the so-called scientific community, and then his disappearance. It's fascinating, but all of this taking place just before World War I, World War II, and the Manhattan Project. And
fascinating to me also, mirroring that I've always hammered Brother White Power for implying that there is no such thing as atomic weapons. And in this same broadcast, he says the Jesuits had atomic weapons. As early as 1908, because the Tunguska meteor strike was their experimentation with atomic weapons.
Great point. Brilliant. Well,
and it's a win-win. It's a win-win. They'll experiment with weapons of mass destruction and then bolster the bullshit of spinning globes and meteors. So it's a twofer. Tunguska was a twofer. So, who knows? Maybe this is really what they used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but sure as shit, nothing dropped out of any B-29.
No. Well, think of the. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that whatever was used there, the Jesuits smuggled into place. Whatever was used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the Jesuits smuggled and emplaced it. Yeah, and the B-29 bullshit was cover fat man and on a little boy.
Yep. A little boy first, fat man came after.
Right,
but
right.
It's pederasty imagery nonetheless, and a Jew being credited and I don't remember his name.
Multiple Jews
credited with the naming of fat man or little boy and fat man. Yeah. But think of also the timeline too, where you have the Antarctic Treaty, and then you have the high altitude nuclear, the bombing experiments that happened post World War II, and whether the discovery or whether it's been known, or maybe the physical discovery of the place that we live, but whether the edge of the of the plane was discovered, I don't know, with Admiral Byrd, Freemason. but the fact that you have so whatever was developed, like, so 1908, you have this event, you have Ettore Majorana, his life and his disappearance, and then whatever that led into the Manhattan Project and whatever Oppenheimer produced, and then these high altitude experiments which took place over in not Hawaii, not Midway, I can't remember the name of the island, but however many missiles, I don't know what you even call them, were sent up. Was it in order to test the firmament that was discovered? And then, of course, immediately after that, back in Vatican II, and then 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then you have the year in 68 and 69, a trip to the moon with Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins.
Good for you.
After the sacrifice of Virgil, Gus Grissom, Chaffee, and White.
Burned alive.
Fascinating timeline. Fascinating timeline. But was this weaponry funded and developed, not even covertly, but out there, in order to test out the place in which we live?
Good for you.
Even the shit how many explosions was that? And then what about the crap that goes on under the surface of the ocean? Explosion after explosion, whatever they're blowing up, and it's like, okay, what's
Russian
really
gas
going on?
pipelines?
Yeah. Anyway, I know I gotta get running. How are we doing?
All right, pal.
Is there any questions? Just
no. You can go ahead.
Awesome.
Bill and I are gonna keep going. I guess.
Guys are awesome.
You finish. Do what you would have done at the end of your summarize anything that you have on your plate, et cetera, et cetera.
No, I just wanted to acknowledge today that it's funny, I get the years mixed up because Loyola, Martin Luther's death year. Okay. Gregorian calendar, we acknowledge this. Jesuit Christopher Clavius created Gregorian calendar beginning 1582, October 4th, 1582. So February 18th, 1546 is the date we're given for Martin Luther's death date. And Loyola, I believe, was approximately, 10 years later?
Okay.
Yeah. So, 1556. So 31 July, 1556.
Cool.
Fascinating.
Perfect.
Anyway, awesome. All right, guys. Hey, it's so good to see you all.
Yeah.
Back
Good
at
to
you,
see
pal.
you too, Hawkeye.
Hey, thank you.
It's always,
Thank you very much.
always a pleasure to have the Hawk on Overwatch.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, brother.
Enjoy the video.
Bless you guys.
Much love, you, pal.
Yep,
Much love
you
to
too.
you. Okay.
All right. What's next on the docket, Johnny?
Let's see if we can rifle through some topics here, pal, and you're more than welcome to add to it, interrupt me. Let's see here.
I'm good at that.
Arizona. No, you're fine. Arizona GOP chair resigns after allegedly trying to bribe Carrie Lake. This is from Jesus Save Darnell. Let's see here. Whatever.
Tonight, the leader of Arizona's Republican Party resigning after a stunning new audio tape appeared to show him trying to convince a close Trump ally not to run for office.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Jeff DeWitt, the now former chair of Arizona's GOP, resigning after leaked audio shows him allegedly trying to bribe Carrie Lake to not run for a couple of years. Just stay out the way, don't make any waves, and if you stay out the way, I have a nice, cushy corporate job lined up for you. You could just go there or not go there, get your money, and that'll be that.
Carrie Lake. Okay, this guy looks interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like a very ordered, disciplined,
right,
clean kind of guy, but also unfortunately a conservatard, especially with his police and fireman flag in the background. Somebody that I love to win over with a red pill.
Right. He looks like he's a reader of Ayn Rand and
Ayn Rand,
Mark Levin.
You see Ayn Rand in the back? Yeah.
Yeah. See the books in the back. You can
Right.
always tell by their background what they have in the background.
Right. This is the most dangerous. This is the most dangerous, fertile demographic to win over with a red pill. Guys like this.
Mm-hmm.
Is Carrie Lake? Yeah, sure she is. Sure she is. This butch female. Look, as I've told you before, having a female in a leadership position, is now so ubiquitous. I consider it Jezebel. They have been loading females into leadership positions because they are easier to manipulate. And in general, lean further left than the typical male does. That in and of itself is now Jezebel, although kind of weak Jezebel.
Very weak, yeah.
And then go ahead and spin her as a Jew. I know I've got a dossier on her. Hold on.
Right. Well, it's kind of a dumb question for a headline. I mean,
it's not if your purpose is to focus on Jews, froth up hate, and focus on Jews.
That makes sense, yeah. Because that's the thing nowadays is they want to pump up their background, either pro or con against them.
Right, and I've got in her dossier.
Buddhist?
She's a Buddhist evangelical.
Buddhist evangelical.
Right. Now, good for you, Bill, by the way. So, the headline, if you don't even read it.
Right.
What does Carrie Lake have to do with Judaism? Nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Nothing. But they'll go ahead and put Jew in the headline for the purpose of frothing people up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's see here.
But it seems like when they mentioned Buddhists, it kind of what sparked with me was who was that black female singer? She was in Mad Max 3.
Tina Turner?
Tina Turner. I think she was a Buddhist, wasn't she? She was into some.
You'd have to be if you spent a lifetime getting the shit kicked out of you by Ike Turner.
By your husband. Oh, Ike Turner. That's one guy I want to beat the shit out of.
Yeah, Gordon. Carrie Lake in Arizona. Funny political theater. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right on. Spot on there.
All right. Let's pull a George.
Politics. And that's part of the chaos. What's causing
the founder of the Freedom Convoy. Now, I've mentioned this many times. So, government is out of control with tyranny, criminal tyranny. Government has skyrocketed prices of everything over a hoax. By the way, this Jewish clown from Russia, Konstantin Kisin, dismisses the corona hoax as hoax. Both of these clowns claim to have gotten the corona hoax, so they are very safe, which is why they have such a successful program. And they brought on the founder of the... So you've got government out of control with tyranny. And your solution is to clog the logistics with a freedom convoy. Oh, that will get the government off our backs. Let's take all of the logistics and make them even worse with our solution.
Yeah, and their solution, where did their solution get them? Nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, but the government attacked them and yanked their bank statements. Trudeau, son of Trudeau. I'm sorry, Castro Trudeau. Supposed son of Trudeau, because there was nobody else qualified in Canada to be prime minister.
And all they did in the floor is that they just argued with each other whether this was a good idea or not, or whatever.
So this guy says, listen to what he said.
That's right now.
Okay.
Because it's interesting that you say that it went into education, because I could not believe for the life of me that they re-elected Trudeau after everything he did. I genuinely thought to myself, who is voting for this man?
I know, Francis. You would think. It's probably the same people that voted during the recall.
Yeah.
For Gavin Newsom. The same people, 70%. You had a recall in the People's Republic of Mexiponia. You were so angry with Gavin Newsom's fuckery that you had a recall that he won by 70%. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's like somebody getting fired and then getting rehired by somebody else.
Yeah. Well, it's worse than that.
It's ridiculous.
Getting rehired by the same company.
Yeah, it just, what was the purpose of the recall?
To laugh about the control of the Jesuit, CIA, FBI machine. That was the purpose of the recall.
That's why I kept saying, if you're recalled, you're out of there. You don't have a job no more.
Yeah. Nope. They wanted to say what a great job he was doing with the recall.
It's
all right.
I'm just glad I don't live in California. It sucks.
More clean your own room Christians Peterson here.
Right.
Coming up.
French Enlightenment / rationalist propaganda campaign. And that.
All right. So here he is interviewing Dr. John Lennox. We've played John Lennox before. He's the brilliant Christian apologist from Ireland that is not Catholic, but loves Catholics anyway.
Mm-hmm. There's the relationship between science and Christianity is much closer than I had imagined. I cottoned on to this a little bit by reading Jung, but that
this fucking guy and Carl Jung. So, and by the way, this is what Lennox does. So, this is kind of like, this reminds me of, who was it? With the Creation Museum. It's Ken Ham, right? Ken Ham and the Creation Museum.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sounds right.
So you
I'm
take
terrible with remembering names.
So there is. I'll go big picture for this.
Yeah.
There is a massive lie of bullshit fabricated by Satan's special forces, the Jesuits. Spinning globes, dinosaurs, etc., etc. You take the massive lie, and because of Satan's amazing satanic miracle of success, everyone believes the lie. The lie contradicts Scripture. So your solution is to force the lie into Scripture. That's what John Lennox does. That's what Ken Ham does. Dinosaurs on the Ark, etc. That's what John Lennox does.
I don't have my Bible here, but I don't know if you noticed that in the King James Easy Reader, every time they come up with the name dragon, it's either a sea serpent or dinosaur. And I'm going, what the hell?
No. Does it say dinosaur in the Easy Reader? That's crushing.
It is. They said it in the Proverbs and
good for
in
you, pal.
Isaiah, and I'm going,
Wow.
dinosaur.
Wow.
You know, nobody mentions it. You notice if you look at ancient texts, there's sea serpents.
Wow.
There's bigger animals and all that. But you ever notice it wasn't until what, 18th, 19th century when they started coming up with dinosaurs and stuff? I don't think 1,000.
It's absolutely right.
1,000.
They've never been mentioned before.
Yeah.
18 whatever.
Yeah, something like that, because nobody mentions, nobody really mentions, they say unicorns. The same thing.
1842. 1842.
Yeah, that sounds
They
about
didn't
right.
exist
Yeah.
before 1842.
1840.
Wait a minute. Check this out. Date of and Darwin published his On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection or the Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life in 1859.
Ooh.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with the unicorn. I kind of agree with what some of the Bible's writers back then. They didn't talk about some mystical horse with a horn on its head. They said the only thing that comes close to a unicorn is a rhinoceros, which makes perfect sense to me. I buy into the rhinoceros.
But here's the problem. I would say you have to be sensitive to forcing. Look, what you're doing is you're proving we love and live by the Easy Reader as the best, and yet it still has flaws. There is no such thing as a perfect translation, because a translation is, in and of itself, a jump from one language to another with infinite possibilities. Okay?
That's why the interlinear Greek, interlinear helps. But that's if you want to do a deep dive. I mean, it's almost impossible.
I would say, and the best way to handle something like that, let's use this as an example. Let's say Job 41, talking about Leviathan.
Yeah, Leviathan, which is a sea creature. It could have been, it could be a shark, as far as we know.
Maybe that's not a good example because that's the original Hebrew. What is the Hebrew there? The Hebrew is...
Yeah, Johnny G says the Geneva Bible and ESV are his favorite translation. And I have to agree with that.
Yeah, we love the Geneva Bible here. It's just the antiquated English that is a problem. The antiquated English is a problem. It is a challenge. I've known quite a few frauds and phonies that use the antiquated English to sound holy. And it triggers me. It triggers me. If you're trying to learn, evangelize, it is a barrier. It is a barrier to clear understanding. I'm backing up in Job 41 to get to something. Some of these amazing animals mentioned in Job. I'm backing up already to verse 10. Behemoth and Leviathan. Come on, where is it? I thought it was I just want to see what the original is. All right, all the way up to 41 verse 1. Yes? Is that it? Yeah, Leviathan. Liu Ye Tane. Yeah. So Leviathan is a basically an English approximation of the original Hebrew. Just do the original. Just do the original. And then your guess or approximation as a footnote. Okay? That's the best way to do a translation. What? Give me the placement of this. Do you have the chapter and verse for this dinosaur reference again, Bill?
I was in, I want to say Isaiah 44. I'd have to go grab my Bible's way on the other side of the house.
What? Okay.
But it's been brought up many a times. If you do a word search, I think.
It's mentioning Leviathan. Right? Is that Isaiah 44 also talking about Leviathan?
It's a possibility. Hang on real quick and I'll get my Bible.
All right. Or is it Behemoth? Anyway, so the proper way to do that is just to put the original down there, and your guess as a translator in brackets or as a footnote. Let's see here. Yeah, thanks, URO. Shakespearean gibberish. Thank you. Yes. All right. As Bill's looking that up, let's go back to see these other things. There is no, back to this, John Lennox, there is no disconnect between Christianity, the Bible, and science. There is no disconnect. There is only pseudoscience that everyone believes. Pause. Let me say that again. There is no disconnect between Christianity, the Bible, and science. There is only pseudoscience. And I mean pseudoscience. It is destroyed by the scientific method. It's not, listen to me, it's not observable, testable, or repeatable. Spinning globes, dinosaurs, all that bullshit. It is not observable, testable, or repeatable. It fails the test of true science. And you got fools like John Lennox, the non-Catholic Irishman who loves Catholics, blown up on YesUtube, interviewed by Clean Your Own Room Christians, Jordan Peterson.
About that. This is extremely interesting to me because I never saw the tension between Christianity and science, because very early on as a teenager, I was introduced to the writings of a scientist who was a Christian, who drew my attention to something Alfred North Whitehead wrote. And it was really put in much simpler language by C.S. Lewis when he wrote, "Men became scientific because they expected law in nature, and they expected law in nature because they believed in a lawgiver." And so very early on, and I was fascinated by the idea that actually modern science is a legacy of the biblical worldview. And therefore, it's no accident that the pioneers Galileo, Kepler, Newton, Maxwell, and so on.
Pioneers of God-inspired science, like Galileo Galilei.
You know, it just seems like they always look to people like Whitehead and C.S. Lewis and everything. Like they're the authority on all this.
Galileo Galilei, who was so close to his own daughter, his Catholic nun daughter, they were buried together. Galileo Galilei, who before being examined by Roberto Bellarmino, was teaching at the Jesuit Collegio Romano by invitation. The Jesuits brought him in and said, teach, and then they turned around and the Inquisition took him down. What do? They gave him house arrest. They gave him the Epstein treatment. They gave him the Epstein treatment.
Okay. So I found that verse. It's in Isaiah 43, verse 20. The beast of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert to drink to my people, my chosen.
Right.
Dragons
King James
as
So this is a great example. Thank you. This is a great example. The King James says ostriches and jackals.
Really? Yeah. Ostriches and jackals. But we have dragons and owls. Dragons underlined says serpents or dinosaurs.
Right. So
whenever
what needs to be done is a difficult tannin. Tannin is the word. Serpent, dragon, sea monster. I would say a good translation would just go with the original. Just put it in italics so it's clear. But you can't put it in italics because in italics in a Bible means the translators insert it there. It's not in the original. You have to put it in some other way to show that it's the original Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in brackets, you can go ahead and write sea monster, but then in brackets or as a footnote, say the original tannin is not necessarily a dinosaur, we just don't know what tannin means.
Right.
There is a question there. Serpent, sea monster, dragon, how else is it used is another way to just to figure that out.
But it just seems interesting to find dinosaurs in the easy reader. It's kind of mind-blowing.
The word Yane, Yana, translated as ostrich. And Strong's doesn't even define it. Says it means greed. How do you get ostrich out of greed?
Yeah. That don't compute.
Wow. That is huge, Bill. That is huge because yeah, good for you, Gordon. Owl's very Masonic. Listen, but the original, all the Luciferians can do is mock the original, is appropriate the original. Goats, owls, rainbows, the list on. Those are all God-breathed.
Mm-hmm.
And they are appropriated by Satan's soldiers.
Right. And perverted.
Appropriated and perverted by Satan's soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But the best thing to do is when you have something that doesn't have an easy translation, go with the original, and then explain, we don't know what this means. It could mean this, or this. Don't just put dinosaur in there.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Wow.
I just don't understand how the Ark people equate the dinosaurs. It just, I mean, you would think they would be like giant animals or something describing them if they existed. You would think something like that would be in the Bible, but it's not.
You know, we just lost Hawkeye had to go. And Hawkeye was warning about how clean your own room Christians Peterson is being handled by orthodoxy. And here he has, what's his name? David Mextus? Eric Metaxas. Eric Metaxas. Hyper devout Orthodox, and he interviews this guy. And Metaxas calls himself Christian.
I think, you know, since I became a Christian.
No, you're not Christian.
No, I know this guy. He interviews a lot of celebrities.
You're Christian.
No. No.
No, Christian.
No, Christian. Metaxas?
Yeah, Metaxas, if he's a Christian, I'm a frog.
Okay.
Because I've seen his interviews with people, and if you ask me, he kind of acts a little gay. What I mean?
It's easy to do that when you're a strict religionist from either of the two legs in Daniel chapter 2, either of Orthodoxy or Catholicism. And Metaxas is a very devout Orthodox.
Or, in other words, Catholic light.
Yeah. Yeah. Episcopal, Orthodox, all that is Catholic light.
Mm-hmm.
And Hawkeye's great vid capturing. Hawkeye's great vid capturing clean your own creation.
And, you know, the Christians are often on me to come out and just profess my faith in Jesus Christ as our universal Savior. And whenever I'm, let's say, questioned in that manner, it's always a trap.
It's a trap.
It's like, join my club. It's like,
no.
You just stay in your own club.
You just stay in your own club. You clean your own room, Christian. Threat level Matt says.
I just got not a revelation. My mind went back to the guy who does Wretched. I don't know if you're familiar with that guy. During the Super Bowl, a lot of churches were doing Super Bowl parties in their church. And he was, and rightly so, I was kind of agreeing with him, is that they decked out the whole pulpit, the whole stage in the church. And I'm so glad I don't go to that. Never mind. You know what I mean? But the thing of it is, they decked everything out, kind of like a tailgate, football. Actually, it looked more like going to a sports bar. You know what a sports bar looks like, with all the big screen TVs and the whole trappings of, you know, the little goalposts and all that kind of stuff. They decked their church out, and guess what? They were using the Bible as a football.
Yeah, somebody sent that. Did Darnell send that, or was that you that sent that?
I might have sent that. Yeah, I might have sent that. I'm not sure. I send you a lot of stuff and you don't use it, thinking that it was probably not.
No, it's not that I don't use it. It's sitting in my docket, not being addressed.
Well, I guess I'm bringing it up now. Damn it, we'll do it right now. We can do it.
Let's see.
Yeah, that was me, because even though church buildings are Luciferian and pagan anyway, but yet it's crazy. I mean, they even show a pastor flying a wrecking ball in a referee's uniform. It's insane. They've gone crazy.
punted a copy of the Bible as part of its Super Bowl of preaching series. The sermon was delivered on February 11th, just hours before the Kansas City Chiefs topped the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl. Now, brothers and sisters, we are talking about a church. And this was not just this female pastor. There were about 4 or 5 pastors that have opened their church to the 34,000 attendants at least, and they have redecorated the church to make it look like a theater, yea, more like a place where you would go to have a rock band to entertain you. And if you watch, you go to their website, you watch the video, the entire video, they said this is a way to bring people to Jesus Christ, the unchurched to the church. This is a way by bringing the entertainment, the football, the Super Bowl, and all of that.
All right. Is he's an Adventist, this guy?
Yeah, he is. He's an independent. He's not part of the conference.
Okay.
Because he does go after the Adventists, because the Adventists do the same thing, the conference churches and stuff. It's just, it's insane. I'm just glad I'm not a part of that world anymore, because I do not want to be around when the slaughter happens.
Yeah. All right. So we have this from Jesus Saved Darnell of Homo Jesuit Stephen Anderson dismissing the power of the Jesuits. No surprise there. I played this for you before. I don't have the video. I have the audio. Here it is.
Now let's ask ourselves this question. Is Rome, Italy today ruling over the world? Is that really the seat of governance in this world? I don't think that the global government is based in Rome, Italy. Now there are people out there who think the Catholic Church is running the world, you know, and the Jesuits, and it's a big conspiracy. I personally don't believe that. I don't believe that they have the power that they used to have. They used to have that kind of power, didn't they? I mean, back in the Middle Ages, I mean, they would put the crown on somebody's head. And in fact, it was a great turning point in human history when Napoleon actually took the crown out of the Pope's hand. When the Pope came to crown him, he took it out of his hand and put it on his own head. Basically showing him, I'm in charge, not you. So the bottom line is, that was a decline in the power of the Catholic Church, and we've continued to see a decline in their power and influence.
Yeah, clearly Jesuit.
Yeah.
Homo. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, what an idiot. He doesn't know, but he's set up to do that.
Exactly, Bill. That's exactly right. His purpose is to distract. He is a homosexual Jesuit,
right?
Who his purpose is to distract from Rome.
But, you know, he does. You know what? Video doesn't show it, but what he does believe, it's the Jews that are in charge. It's the Zionist Jews are the wielding the power.
All right, can I thank you? Can I tell you just for as a quick aside, as a quick rabbit trail?
Dooku almost fought against Yoda with 2 lightsabers. There's no denying that Duel of the Fates was the most innovative and ambitious.
Can I tell you one of the most stupidest fucking things from Star Wars?
Yeah.
Is Yoda versus Count Poo-Poo?
No, Anakin, no!
Anakin maybe loses control a little bit and some of the darkness emerges.
Can I tell you how fucking stupid that is?
Yeah, it is.
Christopher Lee at like 120.
Yeah.
And can I tell you how fucking stupid Yoda is as a fucking character?
And then
a lot of people think he's a little Buddha,
like
a kid
and
a little troll.
Okay, here it is, right here.
As passionate as George.
And there he is. There he is. The brilliant mind
of George
behind Yoda versus Poo-Poo.
Yeah.
And
I did
no
not
one,
like that.
no one has donated to me. No one has donated to me after all this time. George Pucas and Carbonite. Why is that? Why have none of my beloved flying monkeys? It's only a couple of grand, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Not donated to me, George Pucas and Carbonite. Why has none of my...
I know where you would put it. You move your...
Put it right up against the
dumbbells
wall. I put it behind me up on the wall. I put
right
it behind me up
behind
on the
you.
wall. I used to say I
Remember we were
wanted a
talking about
table.
stuff behind us, you know.
I used to say I'd make a table out of them, but I don't want the table. I want them hanging on the wall.
I want you to, hang them on the wall. Another thing, somebody brought up, Christopher Lee admitted to having a large library of occult books. He did say in a video, he said that he was a part of the occult society, and he said, you will lose your soul. I mean, he admits it, how bad the occult is, you know. I don't know if he said that as a warning or as bragging or what, but he is a Luciferian. He admits it. Self-professed. And I'm sure Peter Cushing was too.
Right.
All those British actors.
So, okay, Chris Williamson, Jordan Peterson, why does that not simply bring up his... Here it is.
There it is.
Okay, now you...
Okay, right here. Okay. So...
With the eyeball drink?
Right. Flying Monkey Chris brilliantly nailed this. Flying Monkey Chris, this is a Chris Williamson thing. Sponsor? Fuck's sake. I'm going to have to change browsers. I'm going to do this. Whoops, wrong one. Here, let me share it for William. Great find, Chris.
There it is. I saw that. Neutronic productivity drink. You know, the shit that they put in these energy drinks would just...
And marketed with Satan. Who is the Great Watcher? Who is the Great Watcher? Mm-hmm. Who is the voyeur? Satan. Mm-hmm. And this clown repeatedly, he's got it in front of Peterson. He's got it in, and it's out of fucking control. I mean, like,
you sit down. 95.
Product
I do
placement.
The probability you have to? It's like you had given it your all.
The table only has two fucking things on there. Both of this fucking clown's drinks.
Fundamental people. You're an ignorant error. Don't understand. Get ignorance to your. You're not ignorant.
Perfectly
smarter
set
than you
up.
already is. That's
See,
a delusion.
the thing of it is that the flask, the drink is in the flask, but they got the can there. That's product placement to advertise. That's what it is. That's, you know, but I know the point. The point is it's got the eyeball, the Luciferian eyeball on it. So
can I tell you what a fucking clown this guy is? Can I tell you how I've said this many times? Shave your head and carefully. What's the word I'm looking for? Manicure stubble. Carefully manicure stubble as some sort of phony masculinity. Either shave or grow a fucking beard. You fraud. Great find, Chris. Well done.
Yep.
All right. We have been going for, 3.5 hours.
Wow. I think 4 is the record. I don't remember. Not important. The important is that we're getting these topics
Right.
That's the important thing.
We've mentioned this before. The Hawkeye has mentioned this. Metallica. No, this is John Paul. Thank you, John Paul. Well done, John Paul.
I remember that.
Metallica bassist Cliff Burton died in a tragic bus accident on September 27th, 1986.
Mm-hmm. Very, very suspicious.
Catapulting Metallica.
Yeah.
The sacrifice of their bassist on the birthday of the Jesuits.
Mm-hmm.
Great job, John Paul.
Yeah, they did a behind the music on MTV years ago, and they covered this, and it was kind of freaky.
Hawkeye's blog, brilliant job. Hawkeye brilliantly putting showing how the United States government blacked out an entire fucking block right after Epstein's arrest to go in and take all the evidence out of his Manhattan apartment.
Yeah, even Google Maps blurs out areas they don't want you to see, not just Area 51, but there's areas around the flat earth that are all that are blurred out. They don't want you to see what's there. So
Johnny G agrees that Metallica skyrocketed after they sacrificed Burton.
Yeah, that was when Master of Puppets came out.
Oh, good for
it
you,
was
Bill.
their
Well done.
It was their biggest hit, their biggest album.
Well done. Yeah, great job to the Hawk for doing this, putting this together. I may have to archive this entire blog post that he's got here.
I would. I like his new avatar or his new.
Yeah, avatar, sure, yeah. His Hawkeye in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Without a black eye, by the way.
Yeah, without the black eye, yeah.
All right. We'll roll through some more and then round things out.
Yeah. Because I think my wife wants to go feed the pig.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
we're pig sitting.
We'll stop. Go ahead and stop. That's adorable. All right. We'll go ahead and close down.
Yeah. And I've got plenty of stuff for the thumbnails. As a matter of fact, the thumbnail's done.
Good.
I'll just send it to you as soon as we finish up here. And boy, good show. We covered a lot of topics.
Yeah. We got about 10% of everything I wanted to get through.
Yeah, we got 10% better
than nothing. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Agreed.
And it was great to have our brother Darnell.
Yeah, Darnell and Hawkeye. It was a solid showing tonight. Darnell and Hawkeye.
Absolutely.
Solid showing.
Yeah.
All right. Well done, pal. Thanks for being my co-pilot. And
Sure thing.
We'll see what
I enjoy it.
What tomorrow brings. And hey, appreciate all your hard work. To all my beloved airborne simians out there, be strong and courageous because resistance is rising. Love yous and be blessed. Take care.